All right, we are now live. I hope you can hear me okay. Had to reschedule our live from yesterday because by the time I got home from doing all the crap, I was tired. I just felt like I wasn't, like prepared or anything. So, hope you can hear me okay. What we're going to talk about is Gabby Petito's family lawsuit that will be heard in the Utah Supreme Court. And this is great. It might, like set a little precedence on what went wrong. Look, I took my sweater off. It's a little hot in here. I'm upstairs, a little hot. Let me get this off. Hang on. All right, there. Now, much better. All right, put this over here. Maybe it'll set a precedence. I don't know. I think ultimately we know that Brian Laundrie is exactly responsible for her death. We also know that he told his parents what had happened. They knew already. There's just a lot to this that needs to be talked about. And I know this case has been all over the place, and a lot of people have talked about it and all that, but I think it's important to talk about what's going to happen in the Supreme Court. When you get it to the highest court to try to get answers, to try to get justice, and I think what the whole thing is I think they're doing it for their foundation. They have the Gabby Foundation, and I think they're doing it to fund that foundation. And that's a beautiful thing in itself. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Hope you're excited to hear. If you need to come in on replay crew, that's fine, whatever. I know there's a lot of competition out there right now at this time of the day to be watched. So enjoy whatever, but I'm going to do my live regardless. Come when you can. I always say, come in when you can, stay as long as you can. It's up to you. Now, I also have something else going on. This hair is going to be driving me crazy. Okay, so yesterday when I got my hair done, I actually let them cut part of it because it was really scraggly, so part of it is gone. And it feels so freaking weird. But anyway, I'm doing a contest, and it will be on, what is this? Hang on a minute, guys. Okay, the contest is going to be on Thursday, February the 5th. And here's what we're going to do. My camera looks weird. Let me straighten it out at myself. Is that better? No, that's not better. Here. There. I guess that's better. I think it fits. I think it does by magnet. I'm not sure. So we're going to do a contest on February the 5th. Let me get my little glasses over here so I can tell you what it's going to be about. It is open to everybody. You do not have to be a subscriber to get in on the gift. One moment, I'm going to go get the gift. Hang on, it's right here. Let me pull this out for you. It is going to be a brand new Journey and Bork purse. The winner will receive. Is it over here? Where is it at? Oh, right here. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to show you what the prize is. Here is the prize that I will be giving away. As you can see, it's brand new Journey and Bork purse. Still in the plastic. Let me take it out. I'll show it to you. Well, I don't want to open the plastic. It's never been opened. I don't really want to open. But anyway, this is a brand new purse. It's an expensive purse. But I thought it's been almost a year. And even though I'm not yet monetized, that's okay. I still feel grateful for what I have done on the channel and the people who helped me get there. So this is the prize we're going to give away on Thursday, February the 5th. I'll put this over here. And yes, it's original. I don't buy garbage. Anyway, all you have to do to get in on this contest is show up and watch the live, stay to the end, and then we're going to guess numbers. And whoever guesses the number wins the handbag. It's as simple as that. Now, the only thing weird about this live, in order to win the prize, is going to be I need at least 750 people in that live. It can happen. Share. Tell everybody about it. Get your friends to come watch. I mean, it's really that simple. Just show up, stay in the live for the whole time. I'm not going to do more than 2 hours. And guess the number, and you can win a brand new Journey and Bork handbag. There you go. It's that simple. Now, what we're going to talk about on that live is going to be aliens and alien stories. And I know that aliens are it's kind of weird, but I just wanted to do something a little different, and that's what we're going to talk about then. The thing about it is I've never done my part 2 for the strikes that I won. So I'm going to do that on Thursday, and the winner will receive that beautiful bag. So let's get started into Gabby Petito. Now, Sprinkle will be here at some point. I know she's on the road, and when she gets home, she's going to go ahead and let me know. I might have to turn on my other light. Y'all hang on. It's a little dark in here, isn't it? Let me turn my other light. One moment. Okay. I might have to get like a set of lamps, not just this one lamp. Get a set of lamps for my little room in here because I moved to a whole new room. So let's get our glasses on and we'll pull this right on up. The first thing that we're going to look at for Gabby Petito is the actual documents that were filed in the court. So here we go. Let me pull this up again. I have all of this ready. I'm ready. And then I start looking at other things and then I start putting other things on. It just gets like that. So I always have to laugh at myself. I did a bunch of Gypsy Rose Blanchard stuff today. I just can't stand her. I'm telling you, I don't understand how she has no awareness of self. It is unbelievable. It really is. So let's go ahead and pull this up for Gabby Petito. All right. Now, I'm going to Reddit. Reddit is where I found a lot of the documents for this case, which I'm so grateful for. Let's go. Oh, boy. Finally, it's warmed up a little bit today, but it is clouding back up. We are going to get some more rain. So let's go. Listen, I also want to talk about little Dawson Zamora and what's happening with Chelsea Berg and her charging instrument and all that. I want to talk about that one as well. Let me turn. I'll show y'all. I have my big TV. Hang on a minute. See, I have my little big TV on, so in case I want to put something over there, we can just turn our camera around and you can see it from there in a much larger. Anyway, I'm going to turn that off right now. There we go. This room used to be my son's, this was his playroom. Of course, when he moved out, well, of course, it's just sitting here empty. So I told my husband, I said, you know what? I didn't really want to move my office upstairs because I don't like using the stairs after my back surgery. I just don't want to use them anymore. But okay, here we are. So I told my husband, let's fix it up, and I'll go ahead and put all my stuff over here. And that way, my other office was right above the bedroom. So when he would be trying to go to sleep, and I'm over there late at night, he would have to listen to me about whatever I was talking about. So anyway, we're working on this room. I think it's going to be super cute when I get it all done. I've got a rug that I'm going to put up here, and I'm going to change my direction of my table and just change it up a little bit. I'm going to get a couple of chairs and put them in here. It'll be kind of cute. One thing that's in here that I wish was not in here, but when my son moved out, he and his dad had went to the World Series, and they made this big box, this big Astros box. And I said, okay, listen, son, when you move out, you need to take this with you because it takes up a lot of space. Well, so what happens? He moves out. He goes, I don't want to take that. It takes a lot of space. I was like, well, thanks, dude, because now I have to deal with it. It was kind of, it was an expensive trip. So, no, I do not want to just put it someplace else. Anyway, there you go. Just a little bit about what's going on in this room and what I need to do and how to fix it. Anyway, so let's get on it. Let's get on Debbie. Let's get on. Actually, let's talk about Dawson Zamora first, and then we'll go back to Gabby Petito. Give people time to get in. Maybe by then, Sprinkle will be home and she can jump on. We'll do that. So let's talk about this right now. So Dawson Zamora, charged with capital murder. The mother, Chelsea Dupron, also known as Chelsea Zamora, was charged with capital murder in the death of the 3-year-old Dawson Zamora. She made horrible decisions that led to Dawson's death. Hey, Couponin, how you doing? Can you hear me okay, Couponin? Because, like the other day, remember I had that sound issue? I just want to make sure it's not back on today. Is it okay? Let me know. So good to see you over on TikTok today. Did you see I posted a whole bunch of stuff over on TikTok? I just had like a Gypsy Rose Blanchard problem today, and I just put a whole bunch of them over there. But anyway, I hope you can hear me okay. So we'll go back. The details of that case. So this is another horrific case involving a child and a person in his life that was not his parent. Hey, Cinderella, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. If you missed the beginning, we're going to talk about Gabby Petito's Supreme Court case, and we're also going to talk about Dawson Zamora. And I wanted to talk about Dawson Zamora first because I'm trying to get Sprinkle the chance to get home so she can jump on with us, my partner over there. So let's go. So the case is really, it was abuse and neglect. They allege that Chelsea ignored signs of abuse and neglected to seek help for Dawson, who died of blunt force trauma. And again, this was some man that was living with her. It wasn't his father. It wasn't his stepfather. Just some man living with Chelsea. How about that? Um, they found texts between those two were extremely disturbing. She had ignored bruises in his genital area because it could have happened at school. No, it couldn't have happened at school. Give me a break. The boyfriend's involvement, let me unplug this right here so I can move it over here. The boyfriend's involvement, Dawson's mother's boyfriend, was also implicated in the abuse, but the extent of his charges is unclear from the provided information. The text messages made me feel sick. This mother knew he was abusing her son, but she continued to leave them alone together, as usual. As usual, right? The public was really, really upset. Outrage and heartbreak. Many Redditors expressed the outrage and heartbreak over this case, especially given the preventable nature of Dawson's death. Absolutely, these cases are preventable. We all know it. I cried so much over this, I don't understand how anyone could be so depraved and evil to hurt anyone, much less an innocent little child. This child was 3 years old, beautiful little boy. The call for justice. There were strong calls for both Chelsea and her boyfriend to face severe penalties. They both deserve the death penalty, and they are disgusting. They sure do. Now, somewhere over here, which is what I'm trying to get to, is the charging instrument that they, I think it's right here. Oh boy. Few answers. Let's see. There's her background. Here's the case details. I think it's right here. I wanted to find the charging instrument. Timeline. Oh, here's the timeline for it. Hang on. Oops, come on. This is the timeline of how this actually happened. So, pre-incident background. Dawson Zamora was 3 years old from McKinney, Texas. His mother, Chelsea, and her boyfriend, Darren, were involved in a tumultuous relationship. Chelsea had previously divorced Darren for being abusive, so she was previously married to this guy. She moves back in with him, but she divorced him because he was abusive. She knew he was a danger to her child. Absolutely disgusting. The incident. Dawson was reportedly abused by his mother's boyfriend, Darren. Text messages between them, we just talked about that, were disturbing, right? The aftermath, of course, she's charged with, she's going to get the death penalty for her, but his is not charged that way yet, which I don't understand because we know he's the one that actually did it. Many Redditors expressed anger and frustration towards Chelsea and Darren for their roles in his death. I'm angry at the mother, I'm angry at the boyfriend, and I'm angry at the system that somehow did not intervene sooner. Okay. Psychological and emotional factors. Some discussions highlighted the psychological issues that might have contributed to Chelsea's behavior, including potential mental health struggles and a history of abusive relationships. I think she must have always had life go in her favor overall, and when the struggles came, she probably never developed any grit to deal with them. Okay. Public relations. The case sparks widespread outrage and calls for justice. I know that let me see if I can find it over here. Detectives, analysis, maybe it's right here. Oh, I know it was I'm on the wrong, it was unscribed. Sorry, guys. It wasn't on Reddit, it was unscribed. I was all over the place today looking for information on both of the things I wanted to talk about. And the Gabby Petito documents are also unscribed. So let's get those pulled up. And then we'll get right on it. Now, here we go. Open up, let's go. I actually charged up my iPad so I could actually use it today, thank God. All right, now, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go find, here we go, Dawson Zamora. Okay, I wanna see, is it gonna show? Okay, Dawson Zamora. Okay, hang on a minute. Look, bang, you just stop that. I think, well, you have to have a subscription to this silly Scribe thing. And I think it lasts, but it lets you use it for a couple of days anyway after it's, relapsed. But anyway, let me pull this up quickly and then we'll get right on over to what we really want to talk about. Okay. Now look. Oh, because I have to look up Chelsea Bird, stupid. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Chelsea Berg. Okay. Damn it. You know, I don't know. I don't know how people are always, so prepared. And I'm just not. I don't get it. I guess because I don't know. Chelsea Bird, here it is. Here we go. Here we go. So this is the warrant for her arrest. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see that right there. Okay. So you are hereby committed to arrest Chelsea Renee Berg, the defendant, a white female, 5'3", 110 pounds, blue eyes and blonde hair, and date of birth was 11/17/94, and immediately bring her before the court to deal with, according to law, said the defendant has been accused of first-degree felony murder, capital murder. So this, I'm going to read you what the the affidavit was. So we're going to read the affidavit and tell you what they decided. Okay. No, don't you do that. Before the undersigned authority on this date personally appeared the undersigned affiant, who, after being duly sworn and oath, disposes and says that she has good reason to believe that hereinafore, all these silly words they use, hereinafore to wit, on or about December the 7th, 2025, and anterior to making, that's a weird, why do they, okay, and anterior to making and filing this complaint in the county of Collin and the state of Texas, Chelsea Renee Berg did then and there commit capital murder, a criminal offense against the laws of the state of Texas. Additional pages may be attached and incorporated into this affidavit. Your affiant, Detective Michelle Reed, is employed by the McKinney Police Department in McKinney, Collin County, Texas. Your affiant has over 11 years of law enforcement experience and currently holds a Master's in Peace Officer certificate and has received over 5,200 hours, that's a lot, of in-service law enforcement training. Your affiant has 5 years of experience as a detective in the Crimes Against Persons Division and has investigative experience and training in cases such as this. Your affiant believes there is probable cause that this offense occurred based on the following information. On October 14, 2025, McKinney Police Department was notified that Christopher Alexander, which is a white male, date of birth was 3/1/95, brought an unresponsive child, and we know who the child was, it's blacked out, but that's okay, to the Medical City McKinney emergency room. Medical staff determined the child was covered in apparent physical injuries and various stages of healing and immediately became concerned about the intentional trauma and abuse. This child is 3 years old. Oh my God. A witness observed that Christopher was very agitated on the telephone with the child's mother, Chelsea Berg, white female, date of birth 11/17/1994, and could hear Chelsea making very accusatory statements toward Christopher. Witnesses heard Christopher indicate that he had to get rough with the child, oh God, and strike the child in the stomach while trying to wake him up. Are you kidding me? Chelsea later arrived at the hospital, and both Christopher and Chelsea were transported to the McKinney Police Department to speak with the detectives. Christopher immediately requested an attorney and did not wish to speak with detectives. Chelsea agreed to speak with the detectives and indicated that the child was left alone with Christopher on that date. Chelsea indicated that the child, oh my God. Chelsea indicated that the child had been previously hospitalized for normal illnesses, but also indicated she had recently seen bruising on the child's body. You see it, but you leave him anyway. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm going to say bad words. I mean, I think it's okay if I cuss. I'm not monetized. It's okay. All right. She goes, Chelsea indicated that she thought the child's daycare was responsible for his injuries. She knew damn right. Well, if he has a daycare, why is he at home with this monster? That makes no sense at all. Oh my God. Chelsea also indicated that she trusted Christopher to watch her child and made many statements to indicate she had never seen anything alarming or concerning about Christopher and her child. Detectives eventually showed Chelsea photographs of the child taken during the current incident, which included severe physical injuries throughout his head, chest, abdomen, back, and extremities. Chelsea denied having seen most of the current injuries and was shocked by the severity of the injuries and did not implicate that Christopher was responsible for the abuse. Christopher was consequently arrested for injury to a child, and Chelsea was released that evening. They let her go. The child was transported from the McKinney Center to the medical center in Dallas because he needed further care, where he received additional care for his life-threatening injuries. Medical staff indicated to detectives that the child's injuries were likely going to result in the death or permanent disabilities. Do you have another Jake Harrow over here? Because it kind of seems like it. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the residence of Chelsea and Christopher and the child. Investigators collected numerous pieces of evidence from within the apartment and suggested someone may have been assaulted or injured within the apartment. There may have been an attempt to clean or conceal blood or other trace evidence. I'm sure there was. This is a long affidavit, so hang on. During the course of the investigation, detectives obtained search warrants and downloaded the contents of multiple cell phones and electronic devices, along with electronic data from the social media, email, cell phone providers, and various other accounts. Detectives found numerous items of evidence that illustrated the child had sustained numerous injuries over the past months while alone with Christopher. The evidence also clearly indicated that Chelsea observed the injuries on her child, knew that her child was continuously getting hurt with Christopher, and clearly knew the dangers that Christopher presented to the child. Chelsea knew that, and it's got the name blacked out, but we know it's him, was demonstrating signs of severe illness and physical deterioration, yet she neglected to remove him from the dangerous situation and failed to obtain appropriate care for his injuries. So if he was in daycare, why was he at home with this monster? That is the question that I'm going to have here. Chelsea was also called back to MPD on October 15th for a second interview. During this interview, Chelsea denied knowing that Christopher was a danger to her child, despite being presented with physical evidence that suggested otherwise. Now here's the thing, she divorced him because of his abusiveness. She knew better. Chelsea was arrested for the injuries to the child and transported to the jail. On November 18th, 2025, Detective Reed was told by medical staff the child was currently in a persistent, unresponsive, wakefulness, which that explained was another term for vegetative state. They also told Detective Reed that the child's overall progress neurology was not good. On December the 7th, he succumbed to his injuries while at the medical center. That is so awful. There is sufficient evidence to suggest that Christopher had been physically assaulting this child over the past 30 days. The evidence suggested that the physical injuries were present and noticed by both Christopher and Chelsea. During that time, the child's health began to rapidly decline when both Christopher and Chelsea consciously failed to obtain treatment for his injuries and illnesses. Despite acknowledging the seriousness of his injuries, she knew, and the recommendation to immediately seek medical treatment, there is evidence to suggest that Chelsea and Christopher feared an investigation by CPS. It's always CPS, isn't it? If they took the child to receive medical treatment. The child was eventually brought to the hospital on one occasion during this time frame. However, Chelsea and Christopher deliberately omitted pertinent information about the cause of the child's injuries. The conversations between Chelsea and Christopher clearly demonstrate that all of these child's injuries occurred while he was alone with Christopher, and Chelsea failed to protect him from life-threatening environment. I got a question here, because this doesn't make any sense. He was in the hospital. The hospital could clearly see by the evidence on the child that he was being physically abused, and nobody called the police. Nobody reported this at all. You know what? I think if the hospital staff would have reported it, CPS would have been out there, and this child might be alive. That's what I'm going to say about that. Oh, go away. I wish these things wouldn't pop up in my life, but they do. So, based on the totality of the circumstances, Detective Reed has reason to believe, and does believe, that Chelsea Renee Berg did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual, namely blank, an individual younger than 10 years of age, by leaving him in the care and custody of Christopher Alexander, whom she knew caused the physical injuries to her son on multiple occasions, resulting in rapid decline of his health and ultimately his death. Detective Reed believes probable cause exists that Chelsea committed an offense under PC 19.03 A8 capital murder F1. So that is the arrest warrant for Chelsea Renee Berg in the death of her child, Dawson Zamora. I want to keep up with this case and keep up with what happens in this case, because when it first broke, I was just heartbroken. Another child, another death, another non-father, non-parent who abused the child to death. Basically, abused the child to death. It's just awful. Now let's get over here to Gabby Petito. What time is it? Yeah, it's 6:09. I guess she'll be here a little bit. It's okay. So I'm going to get over here to this. What was presented to the court for Gabby Petito's case? I think that I hope that they do win their case in the Supreme Court because there were so many things that happened in that case that were red flag, red flag, and the fact that his parents knew that she was deceased because he told them that she was deceased, and they did nothing. They did not report it. They just tried to, hide and protect their son. Myself, if my son had told me that, I'd be calling the police myself. I'm not going to hide and protect somebody who can just take somebody else's life like that. I'm not going to hide and protect somebody who's abusive to anybody. I'm not. It's not going to happen. So, it's just sickening, really. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so they had filed a lawsuit against Moab County. Now, the first time they filed it, it was thrown out, and this was back in, I believe, in November. But they were able to refile it. Oh, Sprinkle's here. Yay, let me add her to the stage. I'm glad she made it. There you go, Sprinkle Donut. How are you? I'm glad you made it. Thank you so much.
Hi. Sorry, I wasn't feeling well, and I lay down and
Oh,
fell
mm,
asleep, and I just woke
okay.
up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. Well, I knew that you had some things to do today because you told me that already. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up Gabby Petito's documents from the lawsuit filed by her parents against Moab County. So,
Yeah,
you know,
$50 million.
I think that they don't. I don't think they really want the money. I just think they want the
No.
acknowledgement that they
Yeah.
made mistakes. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
okay, and they did. They made a lot of mistakes. Okay, the family files the complaint. Now this is from Wednesday, March the first. I'm sorry, March the 1st. Yes. Now let's see. Now this was. Let's see. This is. I'm going to just kind of read it a little bit here. Plaintiffs Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, by and through their counsel of record, Brian C. Stewart, and Stephen Jensen, James W. McConkey, Bradley H. Parker, and W. Alexander Evans of the law firm Parker and McConkey, and Troy L. Boer, I think it's Boer, J. Frederick Burroughs Jr., and Dick J. Baldwin of the law firm Zimmerman Boer hereby bring this action. Oh, come on, don't do that. Oh, look, no. Hang on. Okay, I gotta. Okay, let's put it right here. Downloads. It's making me download it, and it's not letting me just read it right there. I gotta download it real quick, but it won't take me a second. It's pretty fast. Okay. Wait, on my iPad. Let's go. Okay. Okay. It's downloading right now, but I'm going to go back over there to it. All right, now. Here we go. Let's go. Why are you doing this? Oh, let's go to my iCloud drive. Okay. Well, I'm going to get it pulled back up. Stupid thing. Select the documents to upload. Well, I already did that, asshole. I'm going to go back one. Download for free. Don't do this. Okay. It's going to give me a bunch of shit, isn't it? Well, let me... Alright, here we go. Let me just do it this way. It won't take but a second. We'll get it back up. Sorry about that. I know it was going to make me do this, but we'll just do it this way. It's fine. Just have to download it and we'll get it back up. Why is it we always got to have some kind of damn hell? I don't get it. Oh, I don't know that. Come on now. I don't know. Let's go. I usually use my phone for this, so. Alright, here. Are you feeling any better yet? Sprinkle?
No, I just feel like crappy today. I don't know why. I just feel real achy, and I just feel just
Oh,
icky. I don't like have a fever. I don't
Mhm.
I just don't, when you just don't feel good? I just don't
Mhm.
feel good. Yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know
certainly
what it
hope you're
is.
not getting the No, I don't want to change. I
I've
hope
got
you're
a
not
bit of
getting
a
the flu.
headache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because
I've
it's
got
going around.
I've
Mhm.
got a bit of a headache. I just feel just lousy. I made some soup.
I'm sorry.
Um, I made some soup and then I laid down and
This
fell
damn
asleep and
thing.
I didn't eat any of it. So
Ooh, I would love a big bowl of homemade soup myself.
yeah, it
That sounds
actually turned
so
out
good.
good. I made it with tortellini
Oh yeah.
and
Yum.
sausage and spinach
Oop,
and
leave out the
chicken broth and
sausage.
Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, leave
Yeah,
out
it
the
turned out really
sausage.
good.
Let's see. Where's my little thing here? Oh my. Okay.
But it's like 80 degrees here. It's ridiculously warm.
Whoa. 80
Yeah,
degrees. That's
yeah,
nice.
it's really warm here today.
It's not really. I mean, it's 62 right now. Oh my God! Come on,
Yeah,
don't do this
it's
garbage,
too
man.
warm. Too warm for February, that's for sure.
Okay. Now, here we go. Okay, I gotta put her name back in here. Let's go. A lot of people are like, a lot of people just don't like the timeline of the whole thing and how it happened. Kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense when it comes to Gabby Petito. I mean, remember this? Why don't you come on? Remember when they were stopped and the police officer spoke to both of them? They were in that van and they were talking to both of them. Remember that stop?
Mhm.
And they almost
Mhm.
took her to jail instead of him to jail. I thought that was so very strange and I don't understand. Okay,
Especially when they had witnesses. That's what doesn't make any
right,
sense.
right. Oh, come on. Okay, for some reason my thing is taking a dump on me right now. Stop that. There we go. I had to get the hell out of that. All right. Mm, there we go. Okay, Petito lawsuit. Here we go. Now, all right. So let's talk about the first time that they dismissed this was back in. Uh, oh, don't. Let's see. Okay, so judge dismisses the Petito family lawsuit against the Moab police. So let's look at the news on that right quick. And this case was brought against the Moab Police Department from the family of Gabby Petito. Sounds good, Sprinkle, huh? Yeah. Um, the family filed this wrongful death lawsuit against Moab City and the police department in August of 2022, saying officers failed to prevent Gabby Petito's death at the hands of her boyfriend Brian Laundrie. The two were stopped by Moab police near Arches National Park. I think this is exactly that we're talking about. After witnesses called to report seeing that Landry had hit Petito. I remember seeing her red face. The two were stopped, okay, and her family later reported her missing, and officials eventually found her body in Wyoming. The Moab Police Department has neglected its duty to provide the training and resources its officers need to do their job. This is what they're saying is the reason. When the lawsuit was first filed, this is an institutional failure, plain and simple. That's what they're saying. Now, McConkey said if officers had been properly trained to deal with a domestic abuse case and had followed the law, Petito would still be alive. Now, see, I don't know that she would still be alive. I don't know that because they
Right.
would have arrested him, he would have bonded out, or she would have dropped the charges, and they would have been right back together. You know how that goes with in abusive situations. Um,
Mhm.
Attorneys for the city argued Wednesday that as part of a municipality, the city and police department are immune from the lawsuit. Now, see, I don't believe that. I don't believe they're immune. I could be wrong, but we'll see. The 7th District Court Judge Don Torgensen said the family's attorneys made good points, but that was he's bound by case law and it exists and states the Government Immunity Act, which makes governmental entities, officers, employees immune from lawsuits within the scope of their employment. Within the scope of their so if in the front of the Supreme Court they win this absolutely could set a precedence for other people who are in the same situations because of the immunity that the people who fail to do their job have legally. Okay. So the
But
existing
isn't
case
that
law.
immunity?
Go ahead. Hello.
Isn't
I can't
that
hear you.
immunity?
You're cutting out.
for them. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Hold
All
on.
right. It's okay.
I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to go back out and come back in, I think.
Okay, that's okay. You can do that. That's perfect. I'm gonna pull my
Okay.
phone up and get. Okay, it's cool. My husband is traveling right now. He should be to his mother's house. She's gonna have a knee replacement tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, that's so scary. Because she's like 74, almost 75, and get a knee replacement. Mm, that's kind of scary. Okay, we'll let her come back in. It's fine. Let me see if I have this over here now. Um, I think I might have to remove this and then let you come back. All right. And when you come back in, I'll let you back in. It's fine. All right. Let me come over here. Okay. Maybe I can get it from right here. All right. There she is. Add her to the stage. Okay. You there?
Hey,
Wait a
can
minute.
you hear me
I think
now?
I got it there. Yes, I can hear you now. Okay. Go ahead. You're there. Hello?
Can you hear me
Are you
now?
still there?
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
can
don't
hear
know
you.
what the
I can
heck
hear you.
happened. But that
Okay.
makes
So I can't hear you. Okay.
them
For some
so
reason, I can't hear you.
yeah, now can you hear me? I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. If it's me or
I
huh?
guess you got to be super still. You can't move your head at all. Right? Uh, okay. Let me find
Yeah,
this
you
side.
sound real robotic to me. I don't know if it's just me or if it's what's going on.
I don't think it's me. I think I'm fine. Um, it's just like you're cutting out. You're just cutting out. I know you're questioning like the immunity that they have uh, as being employees of the county or the state or the city as police officers. Um, let's see. You want to type it and me just read it? It's fine. Why don't you text it to me and I'll just read it so what happens? It'll stop. Okay. Do 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 do. That's not what I want. All right. Let me open my text messages and we'll see. Here we go. Oh, my husband made it. That's good. Okay, so I'm just waiting on Sprinkle Donut to text me the whatever she's trying to ask because she was cutting out real bad, and then we can get that answered. So while I'm waiting on her to text me, because I got my text open over here, we'll keep reading. The seventh district judge says the family's attorneys made a good point, but he was bound by the law. The existing case law applies to governmental immunity and extends to the reach of this kind of case to the Moab Police Department and Moab City because of the municipalities. Okay. The judge said although he was bound by case law at the district court level, the appellate courts had more leeway to look closer at the lawsuit. And I'm happy about that. I really am. With respect to causation, I'm going to make a ruling here so it can be reviewed on appeal. I do think the plaintiffs have made a prima facie case, which means they have a good case and it should be heard. The Moab's officers conduct here could have been a cause of death, not necessarily the cause of death, but cause of death, he says. Now that makes no sense at all. That's kind of a back and forth thing. All right, here, let me see what she's saying. All right. Well, it's not back yet. Okay, hang on. The Petito family released a statement. This is their statement about this ruling. While the ruling today may feel like a setback, it was not unexpected. We never anticipated that this would be an easy process and look forward to the Utah Supreme Court upholding the Utah Constitution's original intent to preserve the right to recover for wrongful death claims under these circumstances. We remain committed to pursuing justice for Gabby and thank the many people who have continued to support us in this fight. Okay, so that was when it was first dismissed. Now, then they went back and they filed a new set. Oh, there she is. Let's see.
I can hear you better.
Okay, there you are. All right.
Yeah, it was super robotic. I couldn't understand anything you were saying.
All right. Now, okay, what was your
what
question?
What the heck happened? Sorry.
That's okay.
Saying that they couldn't be sued. They couldn't be sued as individuals, but the police department itself could still yet be sued, right?
No,
Isn't
it was like the whole municipality. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
the
I was
whole
thinking, yeah, maybe they couldn't sue them individually, but the police department as a whole could be
okay.
sued. So
Yeah,
so nobody can sue the police department? That doesn't make any sense.
but see, how's that
How
work?
could they
Because
be
look at the
immune?
George
How could
Floyd.
they, yeah, how could they be immune from prosecution? That doesn't make sense.
I know. Let me look and see if I can figure out. Let's look this up right quick. Utah prosecution of a police officer, or let's look at it this way. Utah. Let's see, prosecution
That's why I
mhm,
was wondering if they
by
just
an
couldn't sue them
individual.
as individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They just can't sue them individually,
Hmm.
as a, as a person. They have to be sued through the police department because the police department can't be
Well, but see,
immune
they did.
from
They did
something
file it
like
through the police
that.
department. They did. They filed it through the police department because they filed the city, the
Uh-huh.
county. I mean, everybody,
Right.
all of them, every single person that was involved. So in Utah, while criminal prosecutions are primarily handled by government, let's see. Oops, stop that. Um, Abuse of the process, small claims, vertical prosecution, criminal cases, conflicts of interest, death penalties. Let's look at this way. Pull one up. Want to pull up one other way. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put, can you sue a police officer? So if it's like that in Utah, why is it not every place else? How did these other officers get?
Right.
I mean, just not too long ago, there was a suit filed against an officer who failed to do his duties, and more children were killed in that school shooting here. Remember that one? Not too long ago, he was just found not guilty. Yeah. Yes. Now this is what's weird. Yes, you can sue a police officer in Utah for misconduct, such as excessive force, false arrest, or violation of your constitutional rights. While officers may have qualified immunity, here it is, qualified immunity for actions within their duty, they can be held liable if they violate clearly established rights. Claims often have strict deadlines, so consulting an attorney is what you have to do. It says lawsuits can be filed for excessive force, false arrest, lacking probable cause, and violations of the U.S. or the Utah constitutions. Qualified immunity is the protection prevents lawsuits unless the officer's actions were clearly unlawful or violated constitutional rights. I see now. Okay. Generally, this is the statute of limitations. Generally, lawsuits for violations on constitutional rights can be filed up to 4 years from the date of the incident. Governmental immunity, which is what the case law that the judge was stating, says while Utah has governmental immunity, it can sometimes be bypassed for intentional acts. All right. There you go. That is the answer to that. Huh. All right.
Interesting. Yeah,
But I
very
think
interesting.
it is interesting, and I think that the Petitos, by that judge, just basically tell them you need to appeal this and file it in the Supreme Court. I think that because he's saying, I think you have a case here. I think that's so very interesting, and it would shock me if they did lose once they got to the Supreme Court, because
Yeah.
this judge felt strongly about it, or else he would have never told them appeal it and file that way. I
Right.
mean, that's kind of
Right.
something you don't hear very often. So
Right.
let's see. Now let me get back to over here where I was my documents. Okay. Pull this back up. The legal documents for the lawsuit. All right. Hang on. Oh boy, by the Petitos.
Your hair looks really good today.
Yeah, notice it's blonde again. It's not brown.
I
I
love
was so
it.
happy to
I
get.
love
I
it.
did get. Listen, I got part of it cut off. I did.
Did ya?
Yeah, I did. Now look. See, it was
I like
real
to. I like to.
jaggedy.
I like the face framing. I like the face framing a lot.
Thank you. It was real like jaggedy and kind of dry, because he used that
Oh, you
straightener a
cut a.
lot.
You cut a lot off. You cut a lot
Yeah, I
off.
did.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, it's like it's only down in
It
my
looks
boobs
really
now.
good.
Only down there. So,
Yeah.
but my husband says, "Oh, it'll grow back. It's okay." And I'm like, "What? No."
Yeah, but every
But
once in a while we need that
yeah.
good couple inch trim off of it. I'm ready to do mine too. Mine's getting real raggedy on the bottom too.
I mean, my hairdresser put one of those treatments on there, but after he did that, it kind of started knotting up. I don't know what the hell. And he said it was because there was so much damage to those dry ends. I was like, well,
Yeah,
okay. Well, that's fine.
yeah. I need to get a good treatment
Okay.
pack in mine. Mine's just like straw.
We do
And the roots.
overprocess, and then yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this hair is, and I know this is kind of off topic, but we'll get back on it in just a minute. The funny thing about this hair is, I'd gotten it done like maybe 3 weeks ago or something, but my hairdresser let his helper do my color. And I got home, and the day after it, I pulled it up. I said, "Why do I have mousy brown damn roots when I just got my hair done? Look at it." He was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh," he knew it wasn't right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay. Oh, this is interesting. Now, this happened on December the 22nd. Okay, whatever. Let me go back over here. The parents of Gabby Petito have filed a motion to add the Laundry family attorney, Stephen Bortello, as a defendant in the ongoing civil lawsuit. Brian Laundrie's parents. Oh, that's good. I'm glad they did. Maybe he needed to be added. Let's see. My husband finally arrived where he was going, so that's good. All right, people, quit bothering me. Okay. So it is our understanding that a search has been organized for Miss Petito near the grant. This is the reason why I think that they decided to add. A week after his statements that released, the Teton County coroner confirmed that the human remains were found were actually those of Petito. The motion also claims it was beyond outrageous for Landry's and Bertellio's to express their hope that Petito would be found when they already knew she had been murdered, because Brian had told his parents that he did this. They knew.
Oh yeah,
I
they knew.
think. I think that.
Absolutely.
You know what? Why were they not charged with some criminal? Because they failed
They
to.
should have been.
They sure should have. I mean, I know that he took his life or whatever, but they knew and they did not say anything. Well, last month, the Sarasota County judge ruled in favor of their family in a separate wrongful death lawsuit against the estate of Brian Laundrie. So they won that. And that's what, and now they're going after the rest of them. So let me get back over here where I was. I think that's very interesting. I wonder how.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Now here's something else about the parents here. Come on. The highly publicized case involving the tragic death of Gabby Petito has taken a significant turn as the families of both Gabby and Brian have reached a settlement in an emotional distress lawsuit. Woohoo! Thank you, Coupon, and I appreciate that. It was hard for me to cut it too. I mean, it was all the way to my butt, It was hard for me to, but it did look kind of. Anyway. So, this is what they decided. Nicole Schmidt and Joseph Petito Gabby, Petito's parents, initiated this legal action against Christopher and Roberta Laundrie and their attorney, Stephen Bertolino, alleging the intentional infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit stemmed from claims that the Landrys were aware of Gabby Petito's murder shortly after her death in August of 2021, but failed to disclose the crucial information during the search. So everybody's out there wasting their time searching for that child. These parents have hope. They have hope. And those other parents already knew it was not going to happen, that she was gone. That is the cruelest thing you could ever do. That is cruel. In anticipation of the civil trial scheduled for May, both parties opted for mediation, ultimately agreeing to a confidential resolution to avoid further legal expenses and personal conflict. Cuban says, what's interesting is how his parents found him so quickly. I think
I
they knew
was
the
just
whole time.
I
Yeah,
was just gonna say something. I was waiting for a break because they walked right to that boy's body. They walked
hmm
right to him. They knew. They knew.
I think
They
they
knew
did
for
too.
a very long time.
You
They
gotta
should have been
wonder.
charged with aiding and abetting. They should have been charged with concealing evidence. They should have been charged with a lot of things. A lot of things.
How do they go to sleep at night? That's what I want to know. How do you go to sleep at night knowing that you could have stopped a lot of pain by saying, "Hey, my son told me, and I know."
Well,
So yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
want to
she
know.
lived with them for what, 2 years? How could you not have any kind of feelings for her whatsoever after her being a part of your home for over 2 years? I
I
mean,
don't
that to
understand.
me just shows what kind of people they are. Like they had
Absolutely cruel.
nothing, nothing. They had no feelings for her whatsoever. Like she
Mm-mm.
was the problem. In their eyes, she was the problem,
And
not their. their
Go ahead.
son. We all don't want to look at our children and think that our children are the issue, but to be a good parent, you have to look at your children honestly and
Right.
see their flaws. That doesn't mean you have to love them any less or change how you feel about them, but just because they are our children doesn't mean that they're perfect.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Stephen Stern's parents. Stephen Stern's parents knew they'd already accepted what his fate was going to be, and they were straight up honest with the law. They participated. They did what they had to do. Where these parents over here just hid it. They just hid it. I don't understand. I never will. In
No.
response to the lawsuit, the Landry family and Stephen Bertolio contested the allegations, asserting their right to remain silent and the protection afforded by the First Amendment. They argued that their statements and actions were not intended to cause emotional distress, but rather to express genuine concern and hope for Gabby's safety. Bullshit! I'm sorry, but bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it. If you know that she is deceased, how are you sitting there and having genuine expressions and concerns and hope for her safe return? Her safe return to the wooden box? What the hell?
Yeah,
No,
that's all lies. That's
that's
just
all.
blatant lies.
That's just covering up the crap that they did. Oh my God. Details surrounding the settlement remain undisclosed, as emphasized by statements from both Petito and Landry. So I am glad to know that they were able to add that attorney to this other lawsuit. That's good to know. Let's read this other one. What is this having to say? Um,
Yeah, the
so
one
that
thing about these parents is they're not in this for the money. They've never wanted to
mm,
make a profit off their daughter's death.
no,
Nor would they ever. Everything they've ever made has gone into their foundation and has gone into some kind of charity. They have never taken a penny for their personal gain, for their personal financial gain, ever.
I'm, and I'm glad to hear that. And I don't know what her foundation is actually going to do. Why don't we take a look and see what
It's
is her
it's for
foundation?
it's for domestic violence.
Well, that is good to know.
Hmm.
Let's take a look at it real quick. Okay. Okay. Let's see. About us. Come on. Sometimes my internet is so damn slow, it makes me so upset. Okay. With a mission to turn our tragedy into purpose, the Gabby Petito Foundation was born. And okay, so they're going to access a comprehensive collection of helpful resources designed to empower you. Our alliance is dedicated to providing education resources for everyone, whether you're seeking detailed guidelines, insightful articles, or practical tools. We offer a carefully curated library to help you overcome challenges and make confident, informed decisions. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Someday I would like to do a fundraiser for this because I believe in care. I do. I mean, because I worked with the women's shelter over in Georgetown or for Williamson County, Texas, and I learned a lot about abuse and how that basically it was like 85% of the women die before they actually get any help. How about that? I mean, that's horrible, isn't it? Because, they go back and forth. They go back and forth because they're promised this, they're promised that. And then we talked about this the other day. They have
I'm
little
actually
education.
surprised. I'm s- I'm surprised that number's not higher. Honestly, I really am.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I thought that was a really high number, and I was shocked by that. But
Yeah,
once
because
they
they
explained and
say,
yeah,
the most scariest, the most treacherous time is when somebody decides to leave. I mean, and it takes most women many, 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 many times before they make that decision to leave.
right? But they go back. Most of them leave, and this is
Right.
fascinating. Most of them leave
Right.
with only the clothes on their back and their children, and they never go back and pick up any of their belongings. They're just
That's the only
gone.
way to, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the only way
yeah.
to get out safely. But yeah, a lot of them do go back for
What I was,
financial reasons,
yeah.
for so many reasons they come back.
Let me fix my chair real quick. It's too far back. One of the things that I did was I would go and collect. I would collect handbags. I have a handbag thing, but and I would collect clothing and houseware so they could start a household once they found a house that they could live in. Because the shelter would help them find all these different things, and so in this area that I live in, it's pretty affluent. So these people were just giving things nicely. They were more than happy to give these things to this situation, and I was so happy to take it over there. I mean, we did an Easter thing and raised like $5,000. We did just all kinds of things to help support. But then,
That's
after
beautiful.
the incident with my back and the surgery and all that, I just kind of stopped me from being able to do that, which was kind of upsetting. But I mean, that's what happened. And by the way, okay, now Sprinkler, I got my MRI done. I'm still waiting
Oh,
for
you
my
did.
damn results. I'm still
Oh,
waiting for my
Jesus.
results. Isn't that crap?
Oh,
It just
that's
makes me so
crazy.
mad. I'm like,
Yeah.
when am I going to know? Now, this
Yeah.
is an interesting thing about this. Go away. Don't do that. Whoops. No, close that. Mm-mm. Now, at the time that they were looking for her body, this is weird, but I don't know if y'all know this or not. So, in the search for Gabby and Brian, it also resulted in the closure of at least 9 missing person cases.
Yes.
Gabby
Yes. Isn't
Petito
that
first
amazing?
named that is amazing. So, during their searches, multiple bodies were found near where Petito went missing and other locations where there were reports of Brian sightings. That's so amazing. The Yucca Valley human remains were found near where a 30-year-old Lauren, okay, so 30-year-old Lauren Cho of New Jersey went missing on June 28th. In El Paso County in Colorado, the remains of a 55-year-old Sarah Bayard was found on the side of the highway in the area where Petito and Laundrie had stopped on their trip. During their search laundry in North Carolina, investigators found 33-year-old Josu Calderon, who was stabbed to death in the Appalachian Trail. 19-year-old Maya Macrano was found dead on October the 2nd. And in the Grand Tetons National Park, where Petito was found, Robert Lowry died of suicide. Back in August of 24-year-old Kylan Schulte and 38-year-old Crystal Turner were both shot and killed in Moab, Utah. This case was investigated, potentially linked to the disappearance of Petito. Wow, that's amazing how one thing turns into settling cases for other people. I think that's beautiful. Really? Okay, so let me go back over where we were. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get sidetracked, but I think all of it comes together, and it just paints a whole story of what really happens, and how bad it is. Um,
Yeah.
this is. I wonder how many other families never thought about taking taking the next step and doing a wrongful death against the county or the city where they lived when the cops were involved and something was not like it was too late. Like they didn't
Right.
save the person when they could have. I wonder about that. But then you got the flip side of the wrongful death suits, and that is the people who. This is a perfect example of that. The little Montgomery girl. She was not in the care and custody of her mother. She was being taken away and given and going into CPS, into the system. But she begged them to give that little girl to that monster, the monster father, and then he
Yeah.
ends up killing her.
Harmony.
Then she, right,
Harmony.
then Harmony. Then she goes out and files a wrongful death lawsuit and wins some money out of it. That was horrifying. She didn't deserve that money. That money should have went to her brothers that were actually adopted by that couple. That a couple wanted to adopt her too, but the mother was a damn you know what about it and said no. I think that was just horrible. That child could still be here
Yeah.
and living a beautiful life with that family, but no, hell no.
And they've never found her either, and never found her.
He's
Another thing
never
that's
going to
just
tell us.
heartbreaking, you know?
It is
No.
heartbreaking.
And that should be part of any kind of plea deal, that should be part of any kind of deal when a child's involved, that they must tell the location of the child.
I agree with that.
It has to be written into a law somehow.
You
Somehow.
know, Stephen Stearns and his ridiculousness. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing about the Stearns case. We're going to talk about that one for a minute too. Should the mother have been charged as well? Well, I think that there certainly was information that she was neglecting her daughter, because had she paid attention to her daughter, she would have realized that he was abusing her daughter, but she neglected all of it. Or did she just simply don't care because she laid around messed up all the time on dope or whatever, sleeping, and ugh, Anyway, that case is disgusting. It's
That's
still
a
disgusting.
that's a really fine line. I mean, I think all of us as mothers look
Hmm.
at that case like, how could she not know? There were so many signs that we all see that if we had seen those, we would have thought that there was something going on. So
You're
we all
right.
say, how could this woman not know? But, when it comes down to the law, that's very different. It's very different than actually being able to charge her with knowledge of that. I mean, just her actions afterward, where she immediately wanted to get him an attorney. There were
Oh
so many
God.
things that
Yeah.
she did that were just disgusting and just raised a lot of red flags. But that
And that
doesn't mean that the law was broken.
right. You're right. It just seemed weird. And the
Oh,
we would never react that way. We think
no.
okay, we think we would never react that way. Well, now here that's a different. No, let me correct that because you and I have been through this and we know what our reaction was. But not everybody's going to react the way we reacted, and we know that.
Right,
I
right.
mean, I hate to get on this one, but look at the Sebastian case. Look how she acted. Look what she's done. Do we have
Right.
proof she did anything? Absolutely not. Do we have proof
Yeah.
the stepfather did anything? Absolutely not. We have no proof
Yeah.
that
I
anybody
mean,
did anything.
it
So,
goes from look at Don and Candace Wills, how they
oh, that's
acted.
another one. Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's so many of them where the parents' behavior just isn't what you consider typical behavior. But again, that doesn't mean that any laws were broken.
You're
And
right about that.
I'm sure the police that investigated Maddie's case, I'm sure if they could have hung her out to dry, they would have. Just because you could tell by that one detective's
Oh yeah,
tone of voice when he was interviewing her,
he was
um,
upset.
how disgusted he was. And he, I think, of anybody would have loved to have thrown her, hung her out to dry.
Oh, I know he wanted to. Now, the one
Yeah.
thing I found over here in the Gabby Petito case is actually in the depositions. I can read y'all the depositions, okay? Chris Landry admits that on August 29th, 2 days after Petito believed to have been murdered, is the day when everything hit the fan. Chris said Brian called him in a frantic state and said Gabby's gone. When you hear the words Gabby's gone, what do you think first? What's the first thing comes to your mind?
I would think that she's dead.
Exactly. But he's trying to sit here and say, now listen to this. Chris claims he has no idea what his son meant, and after being asked for help, he called the lawyer. Oh, bullshit. See, I'm calling bullshit on
Then
that one.
why didn't you
Oh,
call the police? You should have called
that's
the
what I want to
police.
know. Everybody put your wading boots on because the shit's fixing to get really high as I read this statement that was put out by the father of Brian Landry as he makes excuses for why he did not report the truth. Here we go. And what did he say to you? Chris Landry was asked during the questioning. I asked him, how's he doing? And, he was not calm. He got very excited and told me things had, you know what? Gabby's gone. And he got very frantic. Everything was frantic and quick. So, Gabby's gone. Chris Landry responded again. Meaning what? The attorney asked. Well, I have no idea what he meant, Chris said. Well, what else did he say? And here's his excuse. Well, it was so quick, he said, it was very panicked, and he said he didn't know what to do. He said, can you help me? And he might have needed a lawyer. Well, if he's asking for help and saying she's gone and he needs a lawyer, doesn't one make three? One plus one plus. I mean, to me, it's very simple what he meant by
Yes.
that. Yeah, but he's over here
Yes, I
covering his
always say
ass with
that.
it. Mm-hmm.
I always say one and one is three, not 37. And that was definitely 37.
Get out of my head.
Yeah.
That's what you always say. Get
Get
out
out
of
of my
my
head.
head.
Yep. Yep.
So then he goes, everything was frantic, and I just started to not really comprehend. And then he said, can you help me? And I said, okay, I'll help you. And I calmed him down. I said, I don't know, Chris Landry recalled. It was all mumbled, and I still don't remember everything that happened. But he said he needed help and to get an attorney. I told him, yeah, I'll help you. I'll call Stephen and just stay put. And then I asked him again, and he just said, just help me. And I said, yeah, I'm going to go get him. So stay calm, stay put, and just hang up. Okay?
But at that point, if everything is so frantic and the conversation is so all over the place, you stop the conversation, you slow the conversation down, and you say, "What do you mean she's gone?"
Right.
You stop. You take control of the conversation being out of control. Because how can you help if you don't know what you're helping to do? It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, the words, can you get me an attorney, sends me a
Well,
message
yeah,
that something's definitely wrong here.
abso- absolutely.
Very
Yeah,
wrong.
when he says, "Can you get me an attorney?" That's a big
Hmm.
problem. But just, "Can you help me?" Well, what do you need help with? What happened? Tell me what happened. Tell
I
me what's
mean,
going on.
an engine going out, and you don't need an attorney for that. Let's just put it that way. I
Right,
mean,
right.
Chris, you're making no sense here.
Or if
Yeah,
she's missing, then you call the police and file a missing persons report on her.
that's right.
She could, there's so many different steps to it than him just being a big liar, because that's
And
all
he
he is.
was.
He's just trying to cover his
He
own
just, yeah,
ass is all he's trying to do.
they know they were wrong. Chris and Roberta maintained that they were never told anything other than Gabby's gone, and because they say Gabby was known to disappear, what do you mean, disappear? For periods of time, they did not believe Gabby had been murdered. What? What do you
That's not
think?
true.
What
That's
do you
not
think
true.
gone
Gabby,
meant?
yeah.
Golly.
And Gabby never disappeared. Her family's never ever said that. They've
This is
never
wild.
ever said that that was a part of her personality. She contacted them regularly. She was on the internet regularly. She didn't just go um, AWOL. That wasn't part of what she did.
I mean, it's crazy that he would say that. He goes, I didn't even know what to think at the moment, it at all. So that's how he's okay. Well, if you told that she was gone, but she just walked away, would you have been frantic, do you think? And then he goes, no, it's what he told me. It was very quick and very nervous and very scattered, so I don't remember everything he said. But he said he needed help, and I just calmed. I tried to calm him down. He would not calm down, and he hung up the phone on me. This is Chris recalling his story. The Landrys contacted Bertolino and sent him $25,000. Hang the fuck on. Okay, I'm getting ugly, so sorry, guys. It is very bad if you're sending somebody a $25,000 retainer. What kind of attorney do you need to send $25,000 to in order to start? Oh no, they are lying out their ass. Bertone began acting as the attorney on the Landry's behalf, contacting attorneys for representation in Wyoming. Despite saying earlier in the depositions that he had love for Gabby, Chris and Robert said they never considered contacting Gabby's parents after learning Gabby was gone. Of course not, because you're covering your own ass. I didn't call Gabby's parents, no, because I had no what? I had no reason to at that very moment to think anything, was going on. Gabby took
Did they
off and
ever
did
think
things.
to return any of the phone calls from the Petitos? I mean, the
I'm not
Petitos
sure.
reached out to them many, many, many times, and they
Yeah,
never
where's my
once
daughter?
returned one phone call, one message. The Petitos even went over to their house and knocked on the door, from what I remember, and they never even answered the door.
But
So,
they had, yeah, but they had $25,000 to send as a retainer to this attorney immediately. But
yeah.
yeah, but she was just gone. Hell, no, she didn't just go over there and get a pack of cigarettes. Come on, man. Oh my God. So then he goes, despite saying earlier in the depositions that they had, okay, so I didn't call Gabby's parents, no, because I had no reason at that very moment to think anything was going on. Gabby took off and did things that, she on her own free will. So I had no idea where she was, Chris says. I left it in my attorney's position there. I left it in my attorney's. Oh, Jesus. Brian Landry's storage unit mystery. According to the depositions of Chris and Roberta, Brian moved all of his belongings from his parents' home into a storage unit in Florida a week before he left with Gabby on their trip, but never specified why. I can tell you why. Because this is premeditated, is the reason why. I believe it's
Yeah.
premeditated. On August 17th, 5 days after the encounter with the Moab police, Brian left his trip Brian left his trip with Gabby to fly home to Florida to move his belongings out of the storage unit and back in with. Oh, okay, you see, now he's going to cover his ass. So
Yeah.
he flies home, he moves all these belongings back to his parents' house, saying he just wanted to save some money. Oh my God. Why is that Brian came back to do that instead of asking you to do it? This is what Chris was asking. We offered to do it. He seemed anxious to come home to say, maybe he just wanted to come home. Chris says. Well, that was 5 days after the incident. Was there anything that you observed about Brian when he came home that caused you concern? None. And he didn't tell you that there had been a police incident between he and Gabby just days before? Chris says no. And he seemed fine. He did. Did he have any bruising on him that you were aware of? No. Do you know why he came alone? I don't know why he came alone. I thought he just wanted to come and see us and, say hello. Okay, so you're on a trip. This is a trip they planned to be gone for a long time. But he just wanted to come home and see his parents, but she didn't come with him, and you didn't have any red flags to that. Wow. It sounded like she wanted to make time. Oh, it sounded as if she wanted time to make her website. So that was the only reason that he said she couldn't do it while he was there. I don't know, Chris said. You're lying out your ass. Did he tell you where she was staying? Yeah. What did he say? Well, staying in a hotel. I don't know where exactly. Did he say why she was staying in a hotel? She didn't feel safe, so Brian put her in a hotel. Really? Where's the receipt, Brian? Did he talk with you about that trip? Not really. No, he replied. Did you ask him where he had been? No. Did you ask him how Gabby was? Yeah. And what did he say? Everything was fine. She's just gone. Petito's
Oh
attorney,
God.
Petito's attorney, Pat Raleigh, says that even after countless hours of examining the case, Brian's decision to presumably spend money to fly home and put Gabby in a hotel to empty the storage unit he had begun renting out just 2 months prior remains a mystery. And then it goes on to the next. This is when part of this thing in Oregon. During the trip, so he comes home and he empties the storage unit in August. Brian Landry spends 5 days with his parents in North Point while Gabby remains in a hotel by herself near Utah. No, she was already dead, I believe. Among the conversations that Brian had with his parents, Chris says, is that he and Gabby intended to drive to Oregon to work on a pumpkin farm. Now that sounds kind of fun. When he came home, did you have any concerns about him and continuing the trip? They were asking Chris Landry this. No, and he told us again they were going to Oregon to maybe work in a pumpkin place, that they'd get and learn farming and help with the season of pumpkins. That's it. That's what they told me. Joe Petito, there will never be justice for Gabby. When asked if Brian's death allowed him to escape accountability, Joe said that Landry took the coward's way out, preventing his family from getting justice. And by him dying, you were not able to get justice. There will be no justice for Gabby, Joe says. Does the lawsuit have anything to do with you seeking justice? The lawsuit has or is to get sense, but no, it's really to hold people accountable for their actions and their choices. This is what Joe is saying. The Petito family is seeking the damages of at least $100,000. And when they started this lawsuit with the Landry family, Joe Petito said he was looking to hurt them as much as they hurt us, and there's no amount of money that they would settle for. Ooh. I don't want, he goes, I don't want to give a shit about a dime. I don't care. I work. I do well. It's not about the money, Petito said. I want to make them hurt as much as they hurt us. As I told Pat, there's no amount of money that I would even settle for, not a dime. And how? How is this lawsuit going to help you change the laws, Petito asked. It's not. The lawsuit's not going to help me do anything, he says. Okay. Now, I know you mentioned earlier that one thing that you would like to get out of this lawsuit for the Landrys is to experience the pain that you felt. The lawyer continued, How would you get that from this lawsuit? And he goes, because they would. Anything that's out of their control, that they can't control what the jury's going to do. They can't control what the judge is going to do. So they've got to sit there and be tormented and pay legal bills for all of you guys. And I don't give a shit. I hope they go bankrupt on your shit. I truly do. I don't want a dime from them. I don't give a shit about their money. He's very upset. And I don't blame Joe Petito. Really, I don't.
No, I don't either.
This is what Nicole Schmidt had to say. This is part of her deposition. In her deposition, Petito's mother said she was dissatisfied with the way North Point Police Department handled their investigation after her daughter was reported missing. Brian Landry never spoke to the investigators about Petito. He refused to talk to the police when they went to the family's home to question him about her disappearance, invoking his Fifth Amendment right. Well, who does that sound like? How about it? Do you know if the media was putting pressure on the Landrys to make a statement? Oh, I don't know. I was focusing on our side of things. This is what she's saying. What on your side of things? Were you hopeful that whether it be law enforcement or the media, that outside forces would put pressure on the Landrys to make some kind of statement? I think I would have been. I was hopeful that the police were doing their job. I didn't care if the media were doing anything. I just wanted the police to do their job, Schmidt says. Now you did send me, she goes, now you did seem to mention earlier that you were not satisfied with what the North Point police had done, that you felt like the FBI had done a better job. Is that correct? Schmidt was asked. For the most part, yes, was her response. Okay, what? What is it that North Point police did not do that you wish they had done? And she's gonna spew it. She's upset. They never actually physically saw Brian. So it would have been nice if they just knew that he was actually there, because they didn't even know he went missing. They would have seen him leave, apparently. They told us they were watching the house, but they didn't see him leave. So how did he leave? How did Brian Landry leave the house if they were watching the house? Did he go out the back door and run down the creek bed? I don't know. That makes no sense. Was he hiding in his parents' car and was dropped off somewhere? Because that's what I believe happened. What do you think happened, Sprinkle?
That's
Sprinkle?
a hard one because I kind of think that maybe he snuck out the back before they put the cameras up there. But that car was found there. So that car had to have gotten there somehow. Whether or
Right.
not he drove it or whether or not that car was put there and left there, that's a hard one. I'm not sure how I feel he got there. But I feel
Okay.
that they know exactly when he left.
I think they do too. Well, the parents do, but well, I mean, if the cops were watching the house, then
Yeah, because
didn't they
they
put?
did
Didn't they
say
take
that they
dogs out
messed
there?
up.
Yeah, they did mess
they
that
did
up.
say they did say they messed that up. So
Well, at least they admitted it, right?
and
Roberta
remember the
Landry.
one time that
Hmm.
what was Roberta? Was it
Hmm.
that Roberta? That thought it was Brian the way she was dressed. Wasn't that what happened?
Oh yes, yes, I do remember that now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now
So
Roberta
they
Landry.
really
Go ahead.
no, they really didn't have a keen sense of what they were doing if they were confusing the two of them.
But how could they? They weren't the same height.
Exactly. How could
Hmm.
they confuse the two? Just because she had a baseball cap on? How many people wear baseball caps? I mean, come on.
A lot do, and that I mean that made no sense. I mean, do they have the same size feet as well? I mean, we have another, like, do we have
And
another situation like that?
Brian was very thin. Roberta was not. She was not a big woman, but she was not thin. Like she didn't have the build that Brian had. They didn't have the same body
Right?
structure.
Okay. Now, it's odd. Who would write a letter and tell their son to burn it after reading it? Is that not suspicious? I think it is very suspicious. Prayers for a close friend of mine that left her abuser. Oh, really? Keep on. Gosh, yes, prayers, prayers. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? She's fluffy. Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
she
Well,
is
you know
fluffy.
what? She's a fluffy. Okay. Well, couponing, yes, prayers. I hope that she doesn't go back. I hope that she gets the help that she needs. Tell her to go to the county women's shelter. They will help her. They really will help her. Well, I know in the state of Texas that the shelters for the women are, very. I don't know about what state they're in, but God, I hope she stays out. I hope she's able to manage. Okay. So Roberta Landry spoke about an undated letter she wrote to her son, which she labeled "Burn After Reading." God, I wish I knew what that letter said. The letter, which contained references to a shovel, burying a body, and getting Brian out of prison, is being used by the Petito family as potential evidence. That's absolutely. Oh no, Leslie, you have COVID?
You
I'm so
can
sorry to hear
you can
that.
you can find that letter. That letter was published online, Little Red.
Oh really? I need to find that
Yeah,
then.
yeah, it was
Damn,
published
that is so
online.
bad.
Oh,
Mm.
Leslie, I'm so sorry.
COVID is bad. Like there's some variant of COVID that's going around a lot. My son told me, he goes, Well, he was supposed to get this other meningitis shot. And he said, I think I'm going to skip it. I said, no, you're not. You're going to get the second series to that meningitis shot. You're making that appointment. You're going over there on Saturday. I don't care if you are 18 and out of this house, you're getting that shot. Because, a lot of kid
Yeah,
in college is when people get a lot of exposing to a lot of different weird things. So,
yeah, yeah. He's got to protect himself.
mm. So yes, he's going to go get that shot. But anyway, nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing will or could ever divide us no matter what we do or where we go or what we say. We will always love each other. This is part of the
That's part
letter.
of the
Okay, good.
letter.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
that's
good.
part of the letter.
If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and a garbage bags. If you want to fly to the moon, I'll be watching the skies for your reentry. If you say you hate my guts, I will get new guts. God Almighty. Couponing, well, I live in Texas. I'm not sure what state that they're in, but yes, tell her to first off go to the women's county, go to the county and go to the women's shelter because even if you're not staying in the shelter, they will help you. They will help you with resources. So they can help her with, qualify her with an attorney to help her get a divorce if she needs to get a divorce. I mean, there's all kind of things out there. Just
The
go ask.
PD should be the PD should help be able to guide her too.
Well, I mean, now, well, if she's a victim and he's been put in jail, if her abuser has been arrested, she could get the Victims Assistance Program. They would help her. But
Yeah, but
if
the
he's not been
police
arrested, they're
department,
not. You
but the
know,
police department should have resources.
you know, yeah. Go to the county and the city and get some resources. A lot of people don't know they're out there and they don't even ask, and they just think nobody's going to help them, but they will help them. And
Yeah, you
here's
just have
another
to find
thing:
the right one.
even if they're here illegally, they are not going to turn them into ICE. That's not their job. Their job is to help these women get a leg up and get started again and get assistance that they need. That's what their job is. So just let her know that. I mean, that's part of the problem. That's another reason why some of these people don't make it out. They are afraid of being deported and things like that, and they will not go and ask for help. They just stay there and put up with it because they don't want to lose their kids. They don't want to be sent back to a country that they ran from. So, okay. Now, let's get back over here. She goes, in her deposition, Roberta said she wrote that letter before the couple set off on their cross country trip. Bullshit! She's lying. She's lying. Right here's a lie. She wrote the letter before they set off on their cross country trip. Bullshit. She knew something was very wrong. Before he was leaving for him and Gab's trip on May 21st, she said, yeah, like right before they left, like just a few days. When I asked why the letter wasn't dated, Roberta said she just didn't think to date it. Oh my God. I don't always date notes, Roberta said. She said she wrote the letter thinking her son might be away for a little longer than I knew he was going away. I was going to miss him and I just wanted to make sure he knew I loved him. Roberta said, she goes, I thought he might be concerned since I was disappointed that he might think, yeah, I don't love him. But no, I mean, I really didn't think and then she stops. I just wanted to reassure him that I loved him no matter what. No matter if he moved away, if he decided to stay out west, whatever he did. If he didn't buy a house and decided to just do something else, I don't know, whatever did, I would always love him. See, I don't believe her. I believe she's lying about that. I believe she wrote that note when she found out that he had killed Gabby. That's what I believe. What do you think, Sprinkle?
Yeah, that was a very intentional letter. That was very intentional.
Nobody labels a what if letter burn after reading. See, she didn't want
Yeah,
anybody to
no,
know she'd written this letter. Yeah.
exactly.
Roberta said that she was inspired by a book Gabby bought her son called Burn After Writing. Ugh. It was it's how you could put your deepest thoughts down, and if they were embarrassing, you didn't want anybody else to read them. The advice on the book was just burn it. So it was like a little joke that I knew he would get. He would know what I was referring to, and I didn't want him to get rid of it. Not burn it, but throw it out so nobody read it. It's an embarrassing note. What's embarrassing about it? You love your son, you'll do anything for him, and that's the point that you're making. Why are you embarrassed about this? Hello?
Right.
That made no sense.
Yeah, and you want
Well,
him to know how and you want him to know how much you love him. yada yada yada. So that's
Yeah.
something you would want him to keep with him, not get rid of. Come on.
Well, you know what? She goes, well, that's what someone writes on a letter when they don't want it to be discovered, right? That's what she was asked,
Right.
right? Roberta
Right.
replied, okay, you don't want this letter discovered, right? Yeah, it was embarrassing, and I didn't want, yeah, it's a silly letter. I didn't want, he's a grown boy, and it was like a joke, really. He didn't have to destroy it, and now I think that it's sweet that he saved it. It was just a little joke. Bullshit. You just told him you were going to help him break out of jail and get rid of a body. You were going to cover for him. That's what you were going to do.
Yep.
Nobody jokes about those kind of things. That is not funny at all. Gabby and Brian came back engaged from their first cross country trip. Petito and Laundrie started dating in 2019 and got engaged in 2020. According to the Instagram page, which was removed. Oh, that's all been removed now. Chris Landry said the couple had decided to take their relationship to new heights during another road trip out west. Do you know where they went, he asked. Where they went out west, Chris replied. Yes, I know they went all the way to Oregon. So where were they in between? He goes, I don't know. Did they ever get engaged? Yes. Do you know when they got engaged? Somewhere along that trip, I think. The first trip. He goes, yeah. Did you ever have any concerns about the relationship between Brian and Gabby? Any normal concerns, somebody new, somebody, making commitments and all, but otherwise, no, he said. Do you recall any specific concerns that you had? No, I didn't have any. Oh boy, this is bad, isn't it? All right. That's just terrible. We'll go back over here, guys.
They're just awful people. They are
They
just
are
awful
awful. I mean, to
people.
me, it's just shocking that about this letter and all the things they have to say. And I mean, how in the world? How in the world? Okay, we get back over here. Now listen to this though. Okay, I'm gonna go back over on this one. I mean, because basically they were just talking about this letter, and hang on. Let me pull it back up over here. Letter written and deposition. Let me pull it up this way and see if the other part of his letter's in here. Oh, come on. Okay. Go back one and see if they can. Oh boy. Hang on, Jess. I'm going to go back down here and see if it's over here. I'm trying to find the complete letter, not just little parts of it.
It's out there
Okay.
somewhere because it's been
Yeah.
published a couple times.
Now, here's an updated timeline. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but like there's this timeline doesn't match, this timeline doesn't match. So here's the updated timeline, and this again is on Reddit. Reddit has all kinds of information that people don't stop to look at. It's really, I love to go there and read what he goes, okay, so I have no life. This guy says, I've eaten up a lot of the info about this case, so I tried to make a timeline. It makes absolute sense. Okay, so they're saying on August the 24th was the last call with Gabby's mom on FaceTime. On the 25th was the last Instagram post on Gabby's Instagram. On the 26th, the clerk gave them directions for West Yellowstone entrance. The clerk was sure it was the 26th or the 28th, but the guy's story about the bar corroborates the 26th. All right. Late on the 26th, Brian Laundrie was spotted alone having an argument with a guy in a bar in Yellowstone, and he may have been drunk. Okay. On the 27th, a YouTube video showing the apparently abandoned, maybe not abandoned, slowed video shows the back door possibly being closed on the camper, and he approaches the van had left. This is weird. I don't know why. And there was flip-flops, etc., but nobody was in sight. On the 27th, which cannot be confirmed, that Gabby Petito, but mom and friend received a text, a Snapchat, respectively, from Gabby. The text to mom, which he did. They think that she didn't send it. They think that he sent it, right? On the 27th, another thing that they could never confirm was that mom and friend receives a text through Snapchat, and she doesn't think, again, they don't think that she wrote it. The 29th, Gabby misses an appointment with her friend. Okay. On the 29th, at 5:44 to 6:09, Brian Landy was picked up by a lady here it is, on TikTok who gave him a ride to Jackson to the dam. because he freaked out and she wasn't going in the right direction. He is alone. He's scruffy but clean, possibly took a shower in the Coulter Bay. Agitated, but talks about fiance staying in the van and camping and hiding alone and possibly for the couple of days. Bullshit, she was already gone. On the 29th, about 11 p.m., there was a sighting at the gas station in Jackson. He was throwing out garbage, and he was in a bad mood and cussing out loud. Okay. And then on the 30th, his mom receives a weird last text, not confirmed to be Gabby. No service in Yosemite. Probably a slip up by Brian. And Gabby wrote text. Okay, so there we go. She goes, Brian took the opportunity to buy himself time and sent this text so that her mom would not be concerned. On the 31st, Brian adds a very questionable song to his Spotify playlist. On the 1st, he arrives in his home in Florida, in Longport, after a 36-hour alone ride, apparently not spotted by anyone. Now, I thought he took an airplane. Did he take an airplane or did he drive? He probably took off from Spread Creek and headed home after the gas station sighting on the 30th. Also to note, last likely, by her Insta account, was the last time she was heard from was actually on the 27th. So, did he drive or fly? This guy
He did both. Yeah, he did both. Yeah, he flew back, and then he went back, and then he drove home. Because remember, they had the van at his house.
Oh yes, that's right.
And he had just destroyed it. It was just trash. So they knew she was nowhere around because that van was just absolutely just a mess. And she didn't care for that van like that. She took very good care of that van. All of his shit was just thrown in the back of it. It was just horrible.
Well, because he had to make sure there was no evidence they could get out of that van. Because whatever happened, probably happened in that van.
And that's when he got charged with using her credit cards. When he came back
about the credit card, yeah.
When he got charged using her credit cards on the trip back to pay for gas and food and stuff. That's when he got charged for that.
I mean, he had to know there was no way that he was ever going to get away with this because there was so many things against him already. I mean, when you are on a trip like that and you show up and the woman's not with you, did he have receipts for this hotel? No, he's going to claim he paid cash, right? Was there any receipts? Y'all know? Because I did not hear of any receipts for a hotel that he supposedly put her in. Right.
And you can get a receipt if you pay cash. They can still put you on a receipt.
That's right. But did he have that kind of cash? That's another thing I've always wanted to know. Now,
I think she was the one with the money. I don't think he had the money.
I think she saved the money.
She had saved. That's why he was using her account.
Now, let me tell you, let me read this to you real quick. Strangulation, lethality, and the warning signs we can't ignore on domestic violence, a professional's perspective. I think this is interesting. The documentary released by Netflix about Gabby's tragic death is heartbreaking, poignant reminder for the public of why recognizing the warning signs of domestic violence is so critical before it's too late. Gabby's story is one of so many where intervention might have made the difference, and I believe it would have. Hello, I'm a certified domestic violence professional with over 5 years of experience in direct services and coordinated community response. A major part of my work involves fatality review, analyzing domestic violence's related deaths to understand missed warning signs, potential intervention points, and how to prevent future tragedies. Time and time again, we see the same patterns: isolation, coercive control, and escalating abuse. These deaths are not random. They are predictable and in many cases preventable. One of the most chilling aspects of Gabby's case for me is her cause of death: strangulation. Not choking, this is an entirely different act. Happy to unpack that if needed. Is one of the most dangerous forms of domestic violence. Here are some of the facts. Okay, this is going to be good right here. If someone has been strangled and they are lucky enough to survive, they are 750% more likely to be killed by their abuser in the future. This is increased to 1,100% if there are firearms present in the home. For reference, it takes about 20 pounds of pressure to open a can of soda, 80 pounds of pressure to shake someone's hand, and about 4.5 pounds of pressure to strangle someone to death. That's horrible. I never heard it put like this. This is horrible. Loss of consciousness happens within seconds, and death can happen within minutes. I mean, it takes minutes. So you lose consciousness, you can't breathe, and it takes minutes. Oh,
Yeah, 4 to 5
yeah.
minutes.
And yet often it's overlooked, even by law enforcement and medical professionals. I spent years studying strangulation, including over 30 hours of professional training and countless hours of training others, and based on everything we know about what happened to Gabby throughout the course of her relationship, I can almost guarantee you that she's been strangled by Brian prior to her death. I can say with absolute confidence that it is one of the biggest red flags in domestic violence cases, and it's the ultimate form of power and control. Many victims don't even realize how deadly it is, often minimizing it because it doesn't leave visible injuries. But the internal damage can be fatal, even months later. Strangulation is a clear, undeniable indicator of an escalating danger, and the fact that it continues to be dismissed or ignored in so many cases is alarming. Uh-huh. Gabby's mother, Nicole, has been outspoken about the importance of lethality lethality assessments, a tool designed to identify high-risk indicators like strangulation. If Gabby had been assessed properly, she might have had a clearer understanding of the danger she was in. Remember when she got stopped, he had strangled her. Remember there was marks on her neck. Remember that?
Yep.
So did he do it a second time? Is it the second time he actually killed her? Is that what happened here? I
Yeah.
should have said
Well,
unalive, but whatever. Okay.
there was much abuse. He
Yeah.
abused her for a while.
If the officer had received more training, might have recognized what was happening instead of treating Gabby as the primary aggressor. Okay, yeah, Leslie says yes. Okay. These shortcomings cost lives, and they continue to happen every day. I do not seek to blame anyone but Brian Landry for Gabby's death. However, I do believe that there were missed opportunities to intervene. Yeah, I do too. It is my hope that one day domestic violences will no longer be overlooked, but recognized as the serious, widespread public health crisis that it is. Domestic violence has a massive ripple effect across society. Studies show that in over 68% of mass shootings, the perpetrator either had a history of domestic violence or killed an intimate partner or a family member in the attack. When we fail to take domestic violence seriously, we allow dangerous individuals to escalate their violence beyond the home, endangering the entire community. The economic impact is staggering. Domestic violence costs the U.S. an estimated $3.6 trillion in medical expenses, lost productivity, law enforcement resources, and legal costs. When the system fails to intervene, the burden of emergency services, shelters, hospitals, and the criminal justice system only grows. Addressing domestic violence is something everyone can do, and I encourage you to start asking yourself, what kind of advocate can you be? I'm happy to answer any questions or support that the community, however I can. Thank you to the moderators for verifying me and providing me a space where Gabby's story and so many others can continue to be honored. And this was on Reddit, and it's on the Gabby Petito site. So I think that that was a good explanation of it. And it's really, I mean, look at Malaya. Okay, look at the Sullivan case. Look what's going on there right now. This happens to her back in December. I got a question about this. Why is she all of a sudden now pressing charges against Daniel Martell for what he did to her back in December? I have to wonder myself, is this a way, I mean, or is the RCMP saying, listen, you need to press charges against him for this, or else we're going to start looking at you as to what happened to your children. I have to wonder in my mind if that's what's really going on here. It's like they coerced her into doing it because they needed something to get the ball rolling on who did what. That's what I think. I'm not sure. What do you think, Springfield?
I agree. I agree 100%.
Ooh, listen to this. It's on topic but a little bit off. It goes, a few months back, I watched a girl in the car behind me get choked in her car by, I assume, her partner while we were at a red light. I got out of my car and asked if she was okay. She, of course, says yes. I took the plate number down discreetly and called 911. I know our police are short-staffed in my city, and my friend who is a police officer in another city said, what you did, unfortunately, they go back to their abusers even with restraining orders, and that unfortunately, given the state of things in that city, they probably didn't even check on her straight away. No, they probably didn't. I still
No, they
think this is
probably didn't.
young, yeah. I still think this young lady and I have the license plate number saved in my phone in case I see her car again one day. What could I have done differently? I don't think escalating the situation and getting into an altercation would have helped matters, especially since she told me she was okay. I can't imagine she didn't. I can't imagine she'd get in a car with me so that it would be result in more violence on the end after she had left. But I cried after I got back in my car and called 911, trying to keep track of where they went when they were behind me so I could give the coordinates to the police. That's just terrible, isn't it? That's terrible. You got to
Yeah.
think about that. That kind of goes like the other day. I was telling the story, but where we had a conversation with a friend of ours about would you get out and break up a fight between a woman and a man if you saw them on the like on the sidewalk or whatever. And the response was no. I value my life, and I'm not going to get involved knowing she's going to go right back to that man. I mean, that was the answer that was given. And it kind
Yeah.
of makes sense, right? But how do we stop it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's so bad. There's a person that's in all of our groups. I think y'all have heard her talk about this before. I'm not sure. Woman's Warrior, or what's her name? The other name of her channel is oh geez. Okay, y'all know what it is. I know you do. Deafening Silence. Deafening Silence. I know that in England, she is some kind of abuse counseling. She works with this very traumatic situation. She works with these kind of people, and I've kind of talked to her before about if she wanted to come on and maybe one day talk to us about domestic abuse and the red flags and all the things that maybe could keep other people safe if they were just watching this live one day and saw her talking about this and picked up on what she was saying. Could it help somebody save their own life? I've kind of talked to her about that before, but she's in England and we're in the United States, and the time zone is very, very bad. I mean, it would be like in the middle of the night, it would be in the middle of the morning, and we're over here at night. I don't know. I need to get back on her about that. But now, and then here's something else about this. This is the thoughts on when the burn letter was written. And here's what they're saying here. What's the general consensus here in regards to when this letter was written? His parents and the lawyer claim it was written before she died. It had nothing to do with the letter, and it's not dated. It's either an awful coincidence or it was written after Gabby died. Thoughts. Now, there's a lot. I mean, there are just answer after answer after answer. So we're only going to pick up two of these, and then we're going to get back to what we originally started talking about. You see what happens is, Sprinkle and I get on here, we start talking about these things, and then we kind of get sidetracked a little bit. I mean, we're still talking about the same thing, but it's not exactly what we started talking about. But anyway, it just happens to us. The Landrys have proven themselves to be dishonest and dishonorable, and there's no question in my mind that that letter was written in conjunction with smuggling their son out of that house so he could attempt to escape from the consequences of his murderous actions. Seeing how the Landrys behaved, bald-faced lying to Gabby's parents and to the police, seeing their coordinated, premeditated attempts to obstruct justice, how can anyone be in doubt about this? Yeah, I don't believe there is no coincidences. There is none. I don't believe in that either. There's
No.
no such
No.
thing as a coincidence. Um, this lady goes, I just binged this documentary last night. It sure packs a punch with Brian's parents. The mother, especially. I was practically enraged at the end on the update when no criminal charges have been filed against the Landry's parents. How did they not get obstructing justice at the very least? Harboring a fugitive, lying for the fugitive, both of them should have been in prison. They both should have been charged. That's absolutely correct. All right, we'll go back over here where we started out. So we started out talking about the actual lawsuit that was filed and that it's now going to go to the Supreme Court, and how I think it's going to set a precedence because of that immunity that they have. That if they can get the Supreme Court to allow this, it's going to change a lot of things that happens in a lot of these cases. Because if a police officer realizes that, well, number one, the police, they need better training. They need to understand all the parts of the domestic abuse, not just what they see, but they need to get better training on this. I do believe that, because I do believe
Oh,
that that
yeah.
the police officer saw her as the aggressor because the police officer did not see what Brian had been doing to her prior. So
Well,
he
wasn't
did not
there
look.
there was some miscommunication with the with the eyewitness. I want to say at that point they didn't know that there was an eyewitness account to it. There was something that happened with that, and I'm not
Okay.
100% sure.
I'm going to pull it up. The eyewitness of Gabby Petito. Hang on a minute. Anything you want to know, it's right here in the book, right here. Just get on the YouTube. I mean, get on the iPad here, and you can find everything. A caller and a witness on August the 12th in Moab, Utah, reported seeing Brian Landry slapping and hitting Gabby near the Moonflower Co-op. Okay. The witness described the couple fighting, with Landry appearing to lock Petito out of their van before hitting her and driving off. The interaction prompted police responses and the release of the body cam footage. Ooh, I'd like to see that. I think we could find
Yeah,
it on
there was
YouTube.
something that because the people that pulled him over because he was driving erratically and hit that curb. And I don't think that those officers were aware of the eyewitness phone call of the guy who called and said that he had seen her being hit. If I remember right. Now, I could be wrong, but if I remember right, that's kind of what happened.
A
They
witness
didn't
told the
pull him they didn't pull him over because he was a suspect for hitting her. They pulled him over for a different reason.
right, okay. But I guess because the witness maybe did not talk to the right department, it could have been as simple as that, you know. He told the police they saw Landry hitting Petito, then chasing her up and down the sidewalk before both got into this white Ford Transit van. While the initial caller reported seeing the male hit the female, other accounts suggest that Petito was punching Landry in the arm and the face, trying to get in, trying to get into the van. Well, you locked me out of the van. I'm going to try to get in the van too. The
Right.
police response was they stopped the van after 911 reported a domestic incident. Okay, so they're saying, yeah, this domestic incident was reported. Officers reported that Petito admitted to biting Landry first, when Landry admitted to grabbing her face and pushing her away, leaving a visible mark. Oh shit, I didn't know she bit him first. Okay,
No, I didn't either. And that's the first I've heard of that.
that's the first I've heard that. Officers treated the event as a mental health crisis rather than, oh, here we go. Instead of the domestic violence, they treated it as a mental health crisis. Why? Why would that be a
Yeah.
mental health crisis? That makes no sense at all. If you are physically hitting, punching, biting, that's domestic. That is not mental
Right.
health.
Right.
Officers treated the event as that. The incident occurred just weeks before Gabby was reported missing and found dead. Let's go over to, you know what? I'm going to go pull up this 911 caller and let's listen to this for a second because it's not on YouTube. It's over here. Hang on. Wait a minute. Is it on YouTube? Let's listen to it for just a second. Let me pull this up. We'll just talk for a minute while I pull this up. This is a very
He's
interesting
very clear.
situation.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very clear of what he saw.
I'm sure he's told this story many times too. Let's see.
Yeah.
Eyewitness. Hang on a minute, guys. Okay.
I mean, if nothing more, this lawsuit, hopefully it will come with some retraining for police departments across the United States. It will come with a little bit more accountability, a little bit more thoroughness in what they're investigating, and not be so quick to rush to judgment. Hopefully, it will create a lot of new precedents that just to
I,
avoid something like this in the future.
I'm hoping so because it's plain it's so easy to see how these things get missed. And now knowing that they reported it as a mental health crisis, that is disturbing and no wonder they're filing lawsuits, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
What makes anybody think that would be a mental health crisis? Um,
Because she was emotional. I mean, just because somebody's emotional doesn't mean they're having a mental health crisis.
right, right.
I mean, I cry
That's
when
an
I
issue.
get really mad. I'll start to cry.
Me too. If my feelings are hurt, I cry,
Yeah, if I'm pissed off and angry, I'll cry.
In fact, here's the thing. My husband knows if I'm crying about something, it is bad. Okay, so this is going to
Yeah,
be. Let me get this. Let me get the sound on it. I don't think I. Okay, I don't
this
even know if it has sound now. This is them when they're. This is the last time she was seen alive, and it's some CCTV from ABC News.
That's
This
at the
Uh,
grocery store, right?
okay, I think this is when they were at the grocery store. I don't know if I can make this like big or anything because it's a
this
short.
Because they
Yeah,
got pulled over right after this, if I remember
yeah. Now see, they
correctly.
look just fine. They look like they're doing fine. And then let's go back over here.
this new
They're
Gabby
inside the
Petito
grocery
footage shows
store.
her
Here we
shopping
go.
just hours before death.
Yeah.
In this newly released surveillance footage, you can see the last time Gabby Petito was seen alive, and her killer boyfriend was right there beside her. In the footage, you can see Brian and Gabby are driving their Ford Transit van into the parking lot of Whole Foods, getting out and strolling into the supermarket, and you can't really see any tension between them.
Ooh.
Fox News Digital released these videos, tracking the movements of Gabby and Brian Laundrie as they casually shopped in the Whole Foods in Jackson, Wyoming. In the hours leading to her death on August 27, 2021, the couple had gotten into a heated argument just a short time earlier. Next, you can see them leaving in their van, going to Bridgerton-Teton National Forest. Gabby was found there 3
She's
weeks
so
later.
pretty.
Coroner ruled her death
Look
a
at her. She was
homicide by
upset
manual
right there.
strangulation. Next month, they also found Brian's remains. Cops also found Brian's notebook detailing how he killed Gabby. Gabby's family has filed a $50 million wrongful death suit against Brian's parents, who some have speculated helped Brian with the crime. This new Gabby Petito.
Hang on a second. Let me see.
I know you don't see it, but
And
like,
now it's
I will
not
say
right. It was a
straightforward,
$30
I don't
million
think he
lawsuit.
killed himself.
Okay. I can't show the trailer because let me tell you something. Remember not too long ago on that Saturday night, I did my live on the UFOs, and I showed the trailer from the Netflix thing. Now I did get a strike. I did file my a strike response, and it was reversed. So I was able to use it, thank God. But I don't want to go through it again, so I'm not going to show the trailer
Yeah,
for the
don't do
Netflix
that.
movie. It
Yeah,
is
don't
hard
do
to
that.
fight those, I'm telling you.
So this
What
guy, let's
Let's
call him.
see, hang on.
Lying in the brush, wrapped in a gray
Hang
fitted
on,
bed
hang on.
sheet with
Stop. Oh, I don't want to hear that. That's so sad. I'm trying to find. I want to hear the eyewitness account. Yeah, they knew that he wasn't missing. He was hiding. They absolutely knew that. Oh, new legislation. Look at this. Let's listen to the new legislation. Hang on a minute. This is going to be from Eyewitness News.
Legislation inspired
That's
by
good.
Gabby Petito's murder has cleared the House and the Senate and now heads to the president's desk. The Help Find the Missing Act, backed by Petito's parents, calls for information on missing people to be entered into the FBI's internal database. It would then be shared so the public can see who is missing and provide potential help.
Happening today, coaches
Okay, good. Well, I
and
didn't get a chance to
trainers
put
at
it
a
in
high
there.
school in Nassau County will be
I think
honored.
that's great. So there's been
Yeah, that's
information's
awesome.
been put in. So yeah. Now, this is something. Let's watch this for just a second because it kind of. We're going to look at this. Gabby Petito case exposes racial disparities among missing persons because I'm going to tell you something. This is a problem. It absolutely is a problem, and I know it's hard to talk about, but we're going to talk about it for a second. Because as you know, we all watch certain creators. We hear them talk all the time. If it's a little blonde hair, blue-eyed child, boy, they're hot on it looking for that child, right? But if it's not a little blonde hair, blue-eyed child, okay, it's just another it's just another missing person. We have seen this happen over and over, and it makes me sick. So let's listen to this for just a second as part of our show tonight.
The case of Gabby Petito has gone viral, making national headlines every day. But many minority families of missing victims are questioning why they don't receive the same kind of exposure. The FBI had over 89,000 active missing person cases at the end of last year, and 45% of those were people of color. And only a fraction of those cases were even covered on the news. 7 on Your Side's investigative reporter Dan Krauth has more on one group's efforts to change that.
Thousands of people go missing from the streets of New York City every year. Many of those are found fairly quickly, but some go missing for months, and you don't often hear about it. The disappearance and homicide of Gabby Petito has received worldwide attention. Law enforcement across the country have been involved in the search for her and her boyfriend. But many people go missing that don't make the headlines. Tiffany Wesley from the Bronx, missing since July. Aliyah Boomer of Brooklyn vanished 6 years ago. And Larry Darnell Stackhouse disappeared from upstate New York 16 years ago.
They're simply not receiving that level of mainstream media.
Derica Wilson co-founded the National Black and Missing Foundation to help be a voice for the voiceless.
Everyone knows Natalie Holloway, Lacey Peterson, Chandra Levy, Elizabeth Smart, Gabby Petito. But I will have to ask, how many people can you name that are minority, black and brown?
More than 13,000 people were reported missing in New York City alone last year. We tried to get the racial breakdown of the missing, and
we have to stop everyone's fair use. But you know what? Another large percentage of people that are missing that you never hear about are the indigenous people. Now, when we talk about the indigenous people, that is really close to my little heart, because my own child is a member of the Chickasaw tribe in Oklahoma. And so when you hear about these indigenous people that nobody looks for them, nobody talks about them, it's like, they are even under the other, layers of colored people, the last on the list to be looked for. And it makes me sick.
They're like a totally isolated group of people.
Right. They just don't get the same amount of respect. And I don't understand why every dang missing person should be on every news. They should have a channel where it's constantly running all the time of missing people, of their face flashing all the time. I think that would be appropriate.
Right.
So we'll listen to this for a second.
And unfortunately, it would be different people all day long.
Hasn't released it.
Yeah, it
saying
would.
The number
But that's
of missing
okay. They'd be out
persons
there.
is fluid as investigations are active.
Yeah,
and
the Trail of
constantly
Tears, Cinderella,
change.
absolutely.
Wilson says nationwide, close to half involve people of color.
All these families that are living in this nightmare, their hearts bleed the same way.
She says they're not made public for a variety of reasons.
Oftentimes when families of color report their loved ones missing, police are not taking the cases seriously. When it comes to children, they like to classify them as runaways.
But there's something everyone can do to help be a part of the solution. And that
is absolutely a problem. That because a parent will call and say, my child is missing, and the first thing you do, that's a runaway. If that child is like a teenager, they just ran away. They'll be back, whatever. That's what they think. And it's so wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think, and especially when you have a child that is
the first thing they ask is white, black, or Hispanic.
They do. That's
and
right.
And then it becomes, they probably ran away.
Or you know what? You got to wait 24 hours, or some ridiculous bullshit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And when you take a child who is a little bit disabled or different, I call it different abled. We're just going to call it different abled. That immediately should never ever be treated as a runaway, because you're taking a child that's vulnerable, very vulnerable, or even an adult that's differently abled. They're very vulnerable.
Well, if they have no history of running away, that shouldn't be called being a runaway. I could see if they have a history of doing so, questioning it, but it shouldn't be called that, regardless, even if they have the history of it.
No, they shouldn't. And Cinderella says that just happened in Mesa, Arizona. Yeah, I mean, it's so. I don't understand how we got to that point, knowing what we know about different abled people and their vulnerability. This does not make sense to me. All right. But now I guess if you are living in a world where you don't have a differently abled person within your family, your nuclear family or whatever, then you may not see it, or you may not notice it like others do, like we do maybe. That I don't know. I just think something needs to be done about this. And I think that Seth is trying to do something about a law. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think Seth is talking about trying to get a law exactly about that, for it to be treated as a missing person, not a runaway, immediately. So here we go.
Right.
Be as simple as hitting the share button on social media.
Do not just like the post. We want them to share the post, retweet the post. Someone knows something.
Dan Krauth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
I tell you, couponing over here sends me stuff on. As a white American, I feel we owe these tribes. Well, thank you, Cinderella. Now that's a whole nother show when it comes to, the Native Americans and the indigenous people. And I know we'll probably do a show about that one day when I get some more information. But couponing over here on TikTok sends me things for missing children, missing things all the time. And I'll copy them, try to get them over here and put them on YouTube. It's just, you could spend all day long putting things on YouTube from TikTok of missing people that are being looked for, people that are, vulnerable. It's just, there's so many of them. I think maybe what we should do is go to YouTube, TikTok, and these other places and tell them, you need one channel ran by TikTok or ran by YouTube, not an individual, that has missing people running all day long. The flyers of missing people running all day long. And it would go through the whole list. Like if there's 50,000 of them, it would go through 50,000 of them. And on day 10, if it starts over again, so what? You loop them, right? You just keep adding and looping them. Why is that not out there? Maybe that's what our calling should be. Maybe that's what we should be doing. I don't know. Because I know I've never seen that on any of these. We'll go back over to Gabby Petito. I'm sorry, guys. I just got on my little oh, look, Savannah Guthrie. Look at this. Let's look at this today. And this is from one day ago, and this is from ABC 2020, and it's about the Gabby Petito suit. Here we go.
Tonight, a money-making Ponzi scheme leads to murder from the last person you'd ever imagine.
Indeed, David. I just came back from reporting on this story. So many people left heartbroken and mystified. An all-new 2020 begins right now. Tonight, the trial so many have been talking about, with details you haven't heard until now.
It was just greed, more greed after that.
What is this weird nightmare that's visited upon this couple? She's sick and now he's dying. For him to just go from being fine to suddenly comatose. What happened? What happened?
Okay, we're kind of listening to a little bit.
They were a great couple. They loved each other. They always wanted to be together.
Two people with no background in federal contracting. Suddenly they're going to be
we're going to skip over to where we were originally starting, and that is Gabby Petito.
With sports leagues,
their investors were friends, family, people that.
This is a whole nother story. I think we're going to have to go a little bit further over to get to the Gabby Petito.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
School students that Natalie had offered was given one of those college.
Sorry, guys. There's not like a little break thing where it starts talking about a different.
Started seeing the text messages with Jennifer Davis.
I'm going to need help picking him up.
Okay. Tell me, Sprinkle, if you see something, if I'm going too fast and I go past Gabby, then.
Degree.
It says it's Gabby, but I don't see anything on it. Do you? Wait a minute. Is this it? Wait a minute.
Gabby continued through, and
here we go.
There wasn't
There we go. Let's go back right here.
Brightest blue eyes, the biggest smile you've ever seen, and that was the way she was ever since she was little, all the way on up. Larger than life. She was just always happy and just
physically tiny. She was an amazing artist. We had a large kitchen island, and she would spread her artwork all over the island and just make masterpieces.
Gabby is the oldest of six, a loving older sister to her siblings from both sets of parents.
She was a great big sister.
Thank you for all you do. I appreciate you.
26.
It's a lot of siblings.
A lot of siblings.
Yeah, it is a lot of siblings.
Gabby and her family live in Blue Point on Long Island, just outside of New York City. By high school, Gabby has a big circle of friends. One of them is a boy named Brian Laundrie.
Do you remember the moment she first started talking about Brian?
They had known each other in high school as friends.
he was a year older, so he had graduated and gone on, and then Gabby continued through, and it wasn't until after she graduated that they reconnected, and that's when we started to hear more about Brian.
Actually, when
when things get more serious, they eventually make the decision to move to Florida to be closer to Brian's family. They move in with Brian's parents.
Oh, wow.
When she mentioned she wanted to move to Florida, what did you guys think of that?
She wanted, she was old, I was over 18. You can't stop them from doing something like that, right?
You think we can stop
I said to her, do it if you think you feel like you want to, but you can always come home. At that point, she was almost 20, so I couldn't tell her no, but she was looking for my advice. I think she asked all of us. I wasn't against her going. I just was like, make sure you take care of you. You are number one. You are the most important. Don't rely on somebody else. Make sure you just take care of you.
Yeah, we wanted her to be independent, you know, make sure you get yourself a job, that you can pay for things.
And I'm curious kind of what your relationship with Brian was like at this point.
When they were in New York still, I would see him and talk to him quite often, but once they got down to Florida.
See, when she moved to Florida, that is when the isolating started right there. That's why he wanted her to move to Florida, to get her away from her family. I think that he was always abusive. What do you think, Sprinkle? I don't know if she can hear me or not. Anyway, we'll keep going. I think that was the beginning of the end for her, which is sad.
Yeah, sorry,
That
my
relationship was
speaker
very
was
limited.
off. Yeah, I
It was-
agree with you.
I was talking to Gabby almost every day, but not Brian.
Same for us. But soon Gabby and Brian take a big step.
I thought it was weird that she didn't want to tell us right away.
We found out on Facebook.
Oh, that is strange.
She loved Halloween.
It's one of her favorites.
Remember that Halloween she painted her face?
yeah.
She painted her own makeup.
We're lucky we have a lot of memories. We're lucky we have so many pictures of her.
That's really hard.
I'm so happy that she took as many as she did, because that's what we have. That's what we have now.
This is the Outer Banks, I think.
I took that in the Outer Banks. Isn't that the best picture? She was a ham for the camera, that's for sure.
Oh, she never took a bad picture.
And this is why photos are so important. Annoy the kids, annoy the friends, annoy the family. Take the photos, because you never know then when that's all you're gonna have.
I'll tell you something. We have stuff every once in a while, but as far as photos go, when my child graduated from high school, my husband made a video, and it started from his picture in utero from our scans. We started with that on up till the day before he graduated. And I'm gonna tell you something. I could not hardly watch it because it just made me cry. He's standing right there, but it's just all those memories of all this life that we've lived. It was, just incredible. I just wouldn't. Anyway, it's just so hard. So I know this family's having a really hard time. This person's not even here, and they're going back through it. It's really, and even when myself and Sprinkle go back and look at our children who are now gone, we look at their pictures. It's heartbreaking. But here's a child standing right in front of me, and it was tearing me up. And, your children just become so important, just so important.
Gabby and Brian are now living in Northport, Florida, with Brian's parents.
I don't know if I can live with the parents. That would bother me.
Did she say anything about that relationship?
There were a few incidents.
Yeah.
Never anything with Brian. It was always like, she always felt weird around the parents. I thought about that a lot. I was like, I wonder what's going on with the parents. Like, what's the relationship like? But she would always assure me that it was fine.
Gabby makes a new friend in Florida who shares her first impression of Brian. In 2020, after dating a little over a year, Gabby and Brian go on a camping trip and get engaged.
Brian asked me to marry him, and I said yes. You make life feel unreal, and every day is such a dream with you.
Her parents say they found out when someone congratulated the couple on Facebook.
I'm an old school person.
You didn't even tell her parents?
And as an old school person, the one thing you do is you go up to the father of the person you want to marry, and you
popularity largely through Instagram and YouTube.
As parents, as she's about to set out on this van life adventure, are you going how are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to wash? Are you thinking about all those details?
No, yes, 100%. Because it was crazy, because we would go camping. We had a small little travel trailer, and when she was younger, she hated it. There was bugs.
Oh my goodness.
There was sand, there was dirt, and she wasn't really big into it. And as she started getting into that type of stuff, I'm like, is this the same person? And so when she showed us the setup, we have this cooler that, it plugs in, it's 12 volt, you can turn it into a freezer. Here's our portable sink inside. This is how the sink works. Here's a portable shower that catches rainwater. And I'm like, you're doing all this?
Solar
power to heat it and all this crazy stuff. So kind of thought of everything.
And said that, they had plenty of money saved up for it. She had been working up until right before they left.
I mean, we kept sending her money too, though. Let's just be real in the situation.
I was not.
I didn't send her money. Joe would have sent her money.
I would Apple Pay her money, and then you would see, what's this Apple charge? And I'd be like, oh, I guess I got hacked. I'll order a new bank card. So I think it was 4 times in a year I had to get a new bank card just to play it off,
Before heading out on the cross-country trip, they come back to New York to go to her brother TJ's high school graduation.
She she took him camping as a graduation gift and a birthday graduation gift because it was also his birthday. But her, Brian, and TJ went on a camping trip. I think it was in Pennsylvania. And they came back, and not too long after that, they left. Yeah, beginning of July.
When they set out on that adventure, what did you say to her before she left? Do you remember?
I was absolutely the luckiest one. I got to give her a hug goodbye, and it was the most amazing squeezy hug, and she was crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And she was like, "I don't know." And I just was like, maybe she's just so excited. And then I looked at Brian and I said, "You better take good care of her, keep her safe." And he was like, "I will." You know, it's just his very soft-spoken, "I will." And I cherished that moment. That was the last time I had her in my arms.
Did you trust that they would be okay together?
This is a hard
I
question.
I did. I didn't want to worry. I knew she'd be okay. And I mean, as a mom, I was worried a little bit. I said, "You're going to be out on the road, the two of you alone. Just be careful, be safe. Don't talk to strangers," all that stuff.
Gabby and Brian set off on their adventure with big dreams. She wants to be a vlogger and begins to document her trip on social media.
So, we are right outside Capitol Reef right now.
The last time Gabby was seen was August 27th on the surveillance tapes at a Whole Foods grocery. Her parents didn't see it till much later.
I was watching the body language in that video, and it just didn't look right. He slams the door to the van,
yeah,
they walk
see
in,
that?
she's
Wait
got
a
her
minute.
arms crossed.
Did y'all see how hard he slammed that door on that van? Let's go back. I mean, I never noticed this before, but watch. Just a second. Is he going to play? I hope so.
Her, Brian, and TJ went on a camping trip.
Oh, I went back too far.
I think it was in Pennsylvania. And they came back, and not too long after that, they left. Beginning of July.
And when they set out on that adventure, what did you say to her before she left? Do you
right
remember?
past that spot.
We're
going to go back to the parking lot. Hang on.
Before heading out on the cross-country trip, they come back to New York to go to her brother TJ's high school graduation.
I can go back far enough. Hang on.
Pennsylvania.
And they came back, and not too long
I
after
think
that,
it's
they
right
left.
after this. Right after this, I think.
Beginning of July.
And when they set out on that adventure, what did you say to her before she left? Do you remember?
I was
Capitol
Right
Reef
after
right
this,
now.
when he slams that door, it's quite amazing.
The last time Gabby was seen
Watch
was
real
August
closely.
27th on the surveillance tapes at a Whole Foods grocery. Her parents didn't see it till much later.
I was watching the body language in that video, and it just didn't look right. He slams the door to the van, they walk in, she's got her arms crossed.
And
But
just
they're
her
not even
body
holding
movements
hands.
and not being close together, stuff like that. You
We're not
can
even
see the
shopping
differences.
together.
It screams
wow.
confrontation.
Looking back, Gabby's posts that last week of August seem a little off. Later, internet sleuths combed through every post, offering opinions and coming up with theories about what happened.
I do believe that going forward, these massive cases will find more ground on social media. They want to solve these cases.
That's true. That's true.
Gabby, in the photo, has perfect hair after being on a trip for 2 months in a van. And
They seem like they aren't new photos. Hear from her. On September 11th, the Petitos report Gabby as missing. And on that very day, in Northport, Florida, the police go to the laundry's house.
Northport Police Department. Yes. How you doing, sir? I apologize for bothering you. I have the detective on the phone.
That's very important to think about. I never even noticed this before, but did y'all notice? I mean, just like you said, her hair was always perfect in these pictures. How is that possible? I mean, you're camping. Your hair is not perfect. We started camping when when Trista was 6 months old, and we've had 3 or 4 different campers because as he got bigger we had to have something different. But finally when he got I think he was 13 years old, he said to us one day, "Hey, I don't want to go camping anymore. I'm kind of done with that." Okay, so we were all done with camping, so anyway. So, but yeah, you never had perfect hair. No, you never looked like that. You never had all your makeup on and all that. Hell, you're camping. Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not talking to anybody.
That's wow.
You don't want to talk to us? Okay, she's on the phone. You don't want to talk to her now?
No.
Okay, when was the last time that you saw Brian and Gabriel?
Well, Brian is here.
Brian is here?
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
And that's all I'm going to say.
You're saying?
Yeah, we have an attorney. They've been calling, I don't know.
Oh.
That's all I want to say. I don't know why so many attorneys are aware.
That was very telling. Well, Brian is here, and that's all I'm going to say. And we have an attorney. That police officer should have known right then and there. Uh-oh, we got a crime right here. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Bad. So I can give you his number.
Whose number? The attorney's number?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like that, please, so I can give it to the detective. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. And just to let the detective know, Gabriel.
You don't even want to touch him.
She's not here. Okay.
Why didn't they get a warrant to search the house?
They said that Gabriel's not here. That's all they're saying. That his son is here, but Gabriel's not here. And they're not talking.
Brian's home. Van's home. Gabby's nowhere to be found.
Oh my God.
And he has a lawyer.
And he's got an attorney.
To hear all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby loved that van.
Oh yeah, she wouldn't have given that van up.
Did you immediately just think something is
Oh
not
my
right?
God, I think I said he did something to her, and I know it.
Oh.
As shocking as it may seem, the Laundries are under no legal obligation to assist or to talk to the Petitos.
Right. Gabby's parents begged for information from her boyfriend.
Under no obligation to help at all when their daughter is missing and last seen with him. But no obligation. Make that make sense. That's awful. All right.
Police have said that deafening silence from Gabby's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, is hindering their investigation and search efforts.
We would have went to the edge of the earth to find her.
You just go into like a hyper mode, and all we were thinking about was getting the word out to try to find her and doing what we had to do to try to assist in that. And we had no idea that it was going to take the entire world by storm. And our focus was just on her at that point.
Did you feel that at the time? Did you know that it was everywhere?
It was hard not to, because we would do interviews and they would tell us.
The police get a search warrant for Gabby's van. They don't find any evidence of a crime, but the FBI says something is missing. The mattress is gone. The Laundrie family lawyer gives only a statement that they hope the search for Gabby is successful and that Brian will remain silent on advice of counsel. Joe gives a press conference.
What I need from everybody here is help. The goal is still not met, and that goal is to bring Gabby home safe. This is what matters. That is it. Anything else, it comes second to this.
Tonight, her boyfriend is now a person of interest, but he's not talking. The new pleas for him to share what he knows.
It seems like a stalemate, but suddenly everything changes.
When we got that alert that Brian Laundrie was missing, my stomach dropped. I remember looking at my phone and not being able to believe what I was reading.
Now the Laundrie parents are searching too.
Cinderella says, yeah, a moral obligation. In my opinion, I think so too. They absolutely had a moral obligation. I don't understand how you can stand there and look at a parent, a mom, a dad, and knowing what you know and not tell the damn truth. You're not helping your own child. You're not helping anybody. You're not protecting him from anything, because no matter what, he's still going to prison for the rest of his life. Period.
It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting.
It absolutely is disgusting. Did y'all know that the FBI had released an additional 400 pieces of evidence in this case? I thought that was kind of an interesting thing too. I mean, I'd like to see some of that. We might have to do a second I know people, oh, this Gabby Petito has been done to death. No, I don't think so. I don't think it has been done to death. And I might have to do a second one to talk about this 400 pieces of evidence that they have now, the extra evidences that they released, because it even included, now this is wild. Brian Laundrie's, go back up here, said that his autopsy, the forensic evidence for him, autopsy found that she was killed by blunt force, head, neck, main strangulation. But for him, it says that Brian Laundrie won't have a traditional funeral amid inconclusive autopsy results. What do you mean inconclusive? He took his own life. What do you mean inconclusive? Damn. All right, let's keep going. Sorry.
Brian Laundrie has disappeared.
Is that where it ends? No. Okay, good.
Where is Gabby?
Oh, can you imagine your front yard full of these people?
And I said, you have to be sure.
And tragically, Jim is about to face an unimaginable task.
That was the worst phone call of my life.
I don't know how we did that.
Yeah. That is the tough part right there. Yeah.
Since there are so many possibilities for what could have happened to Gabby.
Yeah, Leslie, what the heck does that even mean? I mean, they know he took not all his bones were recovered. Okay, I see. Well, I mean, I guess because he laid out there, I guess animals took some of the bones or whatever, and that's why they couldn't. Wow. Okay, thank you, because I did not know that, Cinderella. Yeah, that's wild. All right, we'll listen to the rest of this. I'm trying to look for these other pieces of evidence. Hang on.
Gabby, her parents decide to split up and help out with the different searches across the country.
We were told by the FBI they wanted us to stay in Florida. Jim was like, I'm going to Wyoming. Nikki was in New York at the time, so we were just really in all the locations where we needed to be.
We would have went to the edge of the earth to find her.
Gabby Petito has been reported missing for 3 weeks. Gabby's parents are about to live a waking nightmare.
Jim had to make it's safe to say, the worst phone call you've ever had to make. I don't even know how he made it.
I can remember every waking moment of that day, September 19th. Meeting with my FBI agent in the morning, kept getting phone calls asking about certain things, and finally I got a phone call. They asked where I was, if I was close to the hotel. I said, yeah, I'm a few blocks away. They said, you need to meet us there now. And at that moment I knew it wasn't good. They said, we found remains consistent of your daughter. We won't know until we do a forensic autopsy, but you have to call your family. And there was another girl missing around the same time who fit her description. And I remember I was crying. And I said, you have to be sure. I have to be sure if I'm making this phone call, it remains consistent. What does that mean? It could mean it's not her. I said, you have to give me something more than that. And they did. And they showed me pictures. And I confirmed it was our daughter.
I don't know how we did that.
That's
just
the
hearing
hardest
it,
thing.
it's like you can't.
That was the worst phone call
I said,
of my life.
I'm 2,000 miles away. I don't have my family with me. I can't hold her. I can't hold my other children. I said, I'm going to bring our daughter home no matter what. I'm not leaving there until I have her. And I lost a big part of myself, part of us, our family that day.
We're not the same people we were before this happened. There was life before.
We got to stop every once in a while, so we'll stop right there. But yeah, you know what? You are not the same people. Absolutely, you're not. I know I'm not the same person. I know Sprinkle's not the same person after losing your child. It just changes everything about you. It kind of makes you a little bit hard in some situations because you don't trust other people. You don't trust other things. You're just kind of, you're still going through life, but some of it's just motions. Is that how you feel, Sprinkles? Is it kind of like that?
Yeah,
it's just going through that
definitely.
motion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to cry like at movies and at shows, or if I see somebody else crying. I have not cried since the last time I cried for my son. I can't cry anymore. Even when my dad passed away, I didn't cry. It's so weird.
What? I didn't cry. I didn't cry when my dad passed away either. And everybody's looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm thinking in my mind, Listen, I've lost a husband, I've lost a child. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think there's just no pain worse than losing your child. There's just nothing worse. That nothing is going to make you cry. I do. It's weird. It's like I'm just. Sometimes I feel like I'm a shell, but then other days I don't feel like I'm a shell of myself. But some days I definitely feel like I've been hollowed out, and that's just my body here.
Yeah, you're just going through that motion again. I honestly do believe, and I will always say, my baby that was born when I was 46 was the best thing ever happened to me because he absolutely saved my life. But we'll keep talking about this. I mean, these people, you can tell they're so hurt.
Before and
after. The grief is palpable.
We're lucky we have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
We're lucky we have so many pictures of her. I'm so happy that she took as many as she did, because that's what we have. That's what we have now.
Trip of a lifetime and she's dead.
22 beautiful years.
Through all of it, we still say it could have been worse.
Really?
Could have never found her.
Yeah, we could have never brought her home.
There's so many people that we know that have been searching for their loved ones for 5, 10, 20 plus years. And they always have that thought in the back of their mind that maybe they're still alive.
Once Gabby has been identified by Jim, there's an autopsy performed, and Gabby's death is ruled a homicide.
I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, that it is what she wanted, but I see now all the mistakes I made.
I thought it was merciful? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
God damn. I'm sorry, I said a bad word. Sorry.
After a desperate, weeks-long search for Gabby Petito, her body was discovered beside a stream bed near Grand Teton National Park. The cause of death, manual strangulation.
Where is Gabby?
Now that Gabby has been found, the focus turns to finding Brian Laundrie.
According to the FBI, while Brian was driving Gabby's van back to Florida, it seemed as if he was trying to cover his tracks. The FBI would later say he was attempting to deceive law enforcement by sending text messages to and from Gabby's phone, as well as from Gabby's phone to her mother.
I was texting every day. I wasn't getting a response. And then finally on August 30th, I get a text that says, "We have no signal, we're in Yosemite." Like, I had all these reasons as to why maybe it was from her. But that was the last text I received.
The search for Brian, first out west, then in the south, is now focused on an area in Florida not far from where his parents lived.
Absolutely cruel. Now listen to this, because I found this over here. It was kind of hidden, and a lot of the stuff about this case, like where people had put stuff out, they've taken it off now. You know, I don't know why, but yeah, Leslie, how cool. Listen to what he wrote. Laundrie wrote that he chose to end Petito's life after she injured herself when she fell in Wyoming. He also wrote, from the moment I decided it took away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her. So you ran home, moved the stuff out of the storeroom, back to your mom and daddy's house. And
why didn't you kill yourself then? Why didn't you end it then?
Right.
You could have been found next to her, you freaking psycho loser.
Please do not make life harder for my family, the notebook states. They lost a son and a daughter, the most wonderful girl in the world. Gabby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my family. This is a shock to them as well as terrible grief. Fox News, okay, then it goes, what else did he say? He stumbled across this dry bag that later turned out to belong to his son. A notebook collected by the FBI that morning contained this confession. Today, the Petito family attorney and myself, we went to Tampa and they went through this possession, and it said, his mother says what, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to read and see if I can get right back down to different parts of this letter. They believe she was killed on August the 28th. Okay. Whoop. It says come on. Oh, geez, come on. Oh, it doesn't want to open up again. Oh, damn it, come on. You know, it's like sometimes these things will just shut down on you and you can't reopen them. Hang on a minute.
All right.
Yeah, it just drives you insane. I wish I could read this whole thing. Hang on a minute. I might be able to. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I can. Hang on. They loved. Okay, this is many, many pages that I think I can make it out, guys. Hang on a second. I might have to take snapshots of it and then go to the next one. Okay, well, we'll do it like that. It's okay. Let me make this bigger. Save the photos. Okay, let me read this first page here. Here we go. This is interesting stuff. I've never seen any of this. I mean, we watched listen, when the potato story was on Netflix and my husband watched this, he cried. You know, he cried. And that was amazing to me because I'm like, oh, he's crying? It touched him. It just really touched him. I mean, you know, I was... And then, you know, when your husband's crying, you're crying. It's kind of terrible. But anyway, it says, I wish, this is what he wrote. I wished I might, something at your side. I wish I could be talking to you right now. I love going through something, memories. We're going through. Okay, this is hard to read because it's kind of like got wet. It says the memories they made.
Smeary,
getting, it's kind of smeary. Getting something more about the future because they talked about their future. He's saying, but we lost this forever. And something about walking with you, but I've lost something. Oh God. I'm going to have to try to find a way to clear this up better. Something about the holidays, and I'll never get to love you. Damn, this is really bad. Okay, I'm going to have to do this differently. We'll do a number 2. If you've never been able to hear the whole letter, we can do the whole letter in a number 2. I have to clean it up so I can actually see it. But I mean, let's keep watching this. This is just awful.
A few weeks into the search, Brian's parents joined the effort. They go into an area in the park that they had told police to search, but it had been underwater at the time. Shortly after, authorities find his remains.
Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items.
This morning, the month-long manhunt for Brian Laundrie ending where it began. The FBI using dental records to confirm the remains are his.
Among the materials belonging to Brian Laundrie that authorities uncover was a letter from his mother.
And it said, burn after reading.
I remember the first time I read that letter, I had to read it like 3 times because I was so confused. I didn't understand.
And the letter reads, "You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bags."
Okay.
It made me feel like very uncomfortable, and I felt sick to my stomach. I was like, how is this even possible?
A lawyer representing the Laundries has said the letter had nothing to do with Gabby Petito's death and had been written months earlier. Roberta Laundrie would later say in an affidavit the letter was a reference to a book she had given him called Burn After Writing, and it was intended as a way to bond with her son.
A month after Brian was found, the medical examiner released his findings from the autopsy. Brian died by suicide. He shot himself in the head.
Okay, you're not going to believe what I just found. I found over on the vault, FBI.gov, is the other 400 or a bunch of pieces of this notebook that he had left. So I'm going to save them, I'm going to blow them up, and I'm going to transcribe them so we can actually read every word of what was said. I think Brian was hiding in the trees. His hammock was found with his body. Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know that, Cinderella. Thank you for telling me.
The attorney for the Laundrie family
I don't remember.
Releases the actual pages from Brian Laundrie's notebook. Now people can read for themselves what Brian Laundrie says happened.
Gabby,
Oh, they're going to tell
I
it to us.
wish I was
Yay.
right at your side. I loved you more than anything.
And then It goes from this beautiful sort of love letter to this very serious, scary situation.
Rushing back to our car, trying to cross the streams of Spread Creek before it got too dark to see, too cold, I hear a splash and a scream.
Brian claims that he wasn't sure exactly where they were. He didn't think he could make it back to the van.
She said little, lapsing between violent shakes, gasping in pain, begging for an end to her pain.
Brian says he killed Gabby as a form of mercy.
I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, that it is what she wanted, but I see now all the mistakes I made.
The Petitos released a statement saying that they don't believe anything that's in this notebook.
I don't either.
He was a liar. Nothing he said in those stories were true. He was a coward to the day that he died.
When you look back at all the stuff that happened, were there any red flags that this was coming?
Yes, there were, but we didn't notice him at the time.
Could you sense if he was controlling her?
So Gabby didn't come up to us and say, he's doing this. It's things that we would notice, again, after the fact. We can see that that pattern was part of that progression that she was in.
Since her death, Gabby's parents have uncovered communications between her and Brian that show the darker side of their relationship, shared as part of the new Netflix series. One of those texts from Gabby to Brian said, "Don't try to control me because it only makes me mad. I love you so much, but it's the way you speak to me that hurts me the most." They also found a haunting letter that Gabby had written to Brian.
Brian, you know how much I love you. Just please stop crying and stop calling me names. You in pain is killing me.
Oh, wow.
Gabby's family says there were potential signs in their daughter's relationship that could have caused alarm bells to ring earlier.
We have to stop for a minute. But you know what? That goes back to that. It started with that isolation, getting her to move down to Florida to be with him. I really do believe that that's where it started. And I really do believe that when he moved all that stuff I think he premeditated this. I absolutely do. But why? Why was he so upset with her? What could she have possibly done that upset him so much that he had to premeditate taking her life when they were on this big trip? What? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Let's keep going. Sorry, guys.
Gabby's parents established the Gabby Petito Foundation to help other parents recognize the signs of domestic violence.
There's so many versions of it, and a lot of people don't even know where to go when they're in it. Knowing what we know now, we see that progression that happened. Alienation of friends and family.
Isolation.
But it's hard to pick up.
Yeah.
But when you
Nothing
get a high-level view, you
I
can
agree.
see the path that was leading to, and that's part that is hard for us.
And that's one of the reasons why we started the foundation, the Gabby Petito Foundation, to teach others and other parents. There might be some tips that you could talk to your child about. Try to let them know that you are there for them and that there are.
I mean, this starts in high school. Actually, I'm going to tell you, how many high school girls are dealing with their boyfriends if it's already to this point? They're already being beat up on. They're already being isolated. They're already being controlled in high school. And nobody does anything, It's amazing. Yes, Leslie, he could not control her spirit. Such a lesson to be learned
I
here.
get messages all the time from people saying, I didn't realize I was in a bad relationship or a potentially violent relationship until I saw her story. I saw it, I got help, and I safely got out. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today.
But one thing that brought them a bit of peace.
It's very therapeutic for us.
And the way Gabby Petito will be changing lives.
That's beautiful,
How did you guys end up with the van?
Oh, they still have the
Once
van?
everything was done, the FBI asked us what we wanted to do with it, and we contemplated a few things. I want the vibe to it.
Wow.
We had the van crushed. No one really knows that, but we did.
Oh, that's great.
It's very therapeutic for
Yeah.
us. Almost like when you go to like one of those rage rooms and you get to smash things.
That was fantastic.
Gabby Petito.
2 years later, announcements by both families.
The parents of Gabby Petito have settled a civil lawsuit against the parents of Petito's former fiancé, Brian Landry. Both sides say they've reached an agreement to avoid a civil trial. The terms are confidential.
You know, we just got to stop every once in a while, especially since we're using ABC's 2020. Even we'll give them full credit, you know. Let me just kind of read this for just a second about this fair use thing, because after getting 2 strikes on one live, that's kind of freaky. I mean, I win them both, but it's still kind of I was so shocked to see 2 of them on the same thing, you know. So we'll just read that when it comes across. I got to buy me a coffee thing since I'm never going to get monetized, it looks like. But anyway, I thought that would be kind of fun. Okay, it starts, I think, right over here. Okay, all content is available under fair use, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, and the FTC for social media, influences for information, or informational and entertainment purposes. It's going so slow only, not as professional advice. If you okay, and then we're just going to leave it at that. I mean, I have a different one, but you know how it goes. You have to announce that you have a fair use disclaimer on your channel, and you have to give full credit to whoever's whoever's information that you're using. I think that'll cover it, but let's keep going.
As for the Moab police, Gabby's parents file a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against.
In filings, attorneys responded that while Petito's murder is tragic, only speculation supports the assertion that Moab could have changed history.
Just disagree with that.
Gabby's parents remain committed to seeking justice for their daughter.
The one thing we need more than anything else is don't make it just another cautionary tale. Use her, her situation and her story as a lesson of what can and should not happen. We've been a part of 4 law changes since this all happened.
That's beautiful, really. Think about it.
1224.
2 in Florida, 1 in Utah, and 1 nationally. And it's her voice doing it, not us.
They take the call because of Gabby.
Because of her name. She did it, not us. And she's going to continue doing it. She's doing more in her death than she did in her life.
The goal is to mandate that in domestic violence situations, police make a risk assessment and better collaborate with victim advocates.
I really think when it came to her and Brian, she saw the best in him. She looked at the good. That's who she was.
You know, that's kind of the thing about all domestic violence cases. These women or men, whichever one it is, they try to only look at the good, right? Because they want to make it work. They have children to get, whatever it is, they want to make it work. They don't want the people on the outside to see what's really going on the inside. It's a constant covering up. And I think it's going to be hard for a police department to be able to do a risk assessment. I think what they're going to have to do, and this is just my thinking out loud, I think they're going to have to actually employ people who are from the fully trained domestic violence people. Give them make them police officers or detectives or something. Give them some kind of power to take these cases and actually do something about it. Just like they have Mothers Against Drunk Driving that controls the DWI cases in the state of Texas. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but yes, I learned this when I worked at the district attorney's office. They work closely with Mothers Against Drunk Drivers for the penalties and the costs and all these other things to try to stop the repeat behavior of DWI. So just know if they could do something like that and work with some even if it's the Gabby Petitos, even if it's them, they could work with them on a day-to-day basis to try to stop some of this repeat of this domestic violence. I think they really could make a difference, and I'm excited to see them give it a try. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
At Gabby's memorial service, Jim, alongside Joe, delivers a eulogy.
Gabby had a tattoo on her arm that read, "Let It Be."
Oh my.
Title of a song from a band she loved. There's a verse from that song that speaks to me. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer.
There will be an answer. Okay, I gotta skip past this or I'll be crying. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna end it right there, but I can't. I can't. I'll be crying. I don't want to be crying. And I want to have the Tammy Faye Baker of the mascara running all down my face because that's exactly what I would look like. I don't have waterproof mascara on because it just really, it's painful. Anyway, let's call it a day, and we'll come back and do a part 2 on this because there's so much more I want to talk about. Being able to find that notebook and being able to print it out from the FBI site, and we can actually read the whole thing and actually look at the psychology of that monster, because he was a monster. And the fact that he was able to sit there and conjure up some God-blessed bullshit about, oh, I did it in a mercy. It was mercy. What? Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's almost like Stephen Stern saying, well, she was asking for it, you know. It is. It's like Stephen Stern saying, well, I mean, she was in love with me. I was in love with her. It's okay if she was only 13 or 12, whatever. You know, it's fine.
Right.
It was fine.
Anything
It's
to the
same
end
thing.
to just to make themselves look better.
Yeah, just keeping on with it. It's just disgusting and horrific. And you know what? I can see the good coming out of that foundation if they can use it in a way to create something like Mother Against Driving, to work directly with the county, the state, the police departments to stop the domestic violence, to look at those red flags, find those signs. When you stop a car, education, right. When you stop a car and there's a man and a woman in it and they're fighting, or you go someplace where they've been fighting, look at that lady. Look to see if there's any marks on her. Take a look. Look at the man. Look to see if there's any marks on her. I know you can't arrest every single person, but you can split them up, have them report to a county domestic violence office that day to take a look and do an intake to assess these people to see what's going on and maybe get them some help right then. I mean, I think that could be done. I absolutely do think it could be done. So anyway, let's go on ahead and call it a day. We'll get back on this another day. Now, as a reminder, you know, on February the 5th, we're going to do a live, and it's going to be about aliens and alien stories. We're going to do our part 2. And we're going to give away this beautiful, brand new Junior Bork purse. It is an original.
Oh, nice.
Still in the original
beautiful.
packaging. Yeah. All you
beautiful.
have to do, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it. The live will be about 2 hours. I want to get, hey there, Elizabeth, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. I want to try to get at least 750 people into the live. And then we'll just take a number. And whoever, you have to stay the whole time. You have to be present to win. And whoever guesses the number at the end of the live wins this beautiful purse. Y'all know I'm a collector of these bags, and I have a bunch of them. So I thought to myself, let me do something nice. Our channel is almost a year old. So I just want to do something nice for all the people who have supported me this time, you know, in this period. I'm not monetized. Y'all all know that. Would I like to be monetized? Maybe. We'll see what happens. But I thought if we could just, you know, tell our friends, let's get a bunch of people in that live to see if we can't do a little better and talk about aliens and have a little bit of fun with it. And we'll give away this beautiful bag. If we can get all the people in there and we can, I don't know, I might make it less. But, I mean, that's just my goal. I want to try to get at least 750 people in there watching. We're going to talk about our aliens, and we're going to give away a beautiful bag. And thank you for my people who have basically supported us this whole year through thick, thin, bad, good. You know, I've been through a lot this year with this channel. I mean, my credibility was injured in the very beginning from something I didn't even do. I was doxxed. My house was shown. I mean, all kinds of things have happened to me in the year with this channel. It did not help my channel. I think it kind of hurt my channel. But honestly, I didn't even do anything. I don't know if y'all know this, but we will talk about it for just a minute. There was a picture that was circulated. Somebody put some names on something. It wasn't me. I was on a cruise boat. I didn't even have any internet, for God's sake. Somebody put names on this thing, and they put it out there in the public, and they were talking about this picture. And somebody said, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so did this. No, this so-and-so didn't do anything except maybe look at it and say, well, I think I see something. I don't know what I see, right? I don't know what I see. So anyway, that is how my credibility got damaged. Then those people decided to go ahead and dox me and take, put my picture out on the internet and all this. And then the next thing you don't know, they're talking about me and saying, oh, well, what did she do for all that money? Blah, blah, blah. It just started this whole ugly situation. And then people that I was actually a mod for got upset because I was being talked about and it looked bad on them. And they took away my wrench because it looked bad on them. And again, I didn't even do anything. So there you go. So I just want to thank everybody who has stuck with me, who has supported me, who's came into my lives when they can, who's done replay when they can, and I just thank you so much. So we're going to do our little giveaway, and we'll do an aliens, and we'll just have a good time with it. So I'll see you on Thursday.
Love it.
I don't know what time we're going to pick. Yeah, what the hell, Cinderella is right. What the hell? I mean, look, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I didn't know anything about it. I get a phone call from somebody that I modded for, and she starts going off on me. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I find out what has happened here. And of course, it was the hate group, and it was about Sebastian Rogers' case. There you go. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want to stir up a bunch of shit. I really wish they wouldn't have done that. It really wasn't fair. Nobody even asked me anything. They just assumed. You know what I thought about doing? This is a sidetrack for just a second. What I thought about doing is, since they were so concerned about what I did for a living, or my house, etc., I thought about just go ahead and just filming the whole inside and saying, "Here you go. You want to see it all? Here you go. Come on over. You like it? Come on over. Whatever." Just trying to make light of it, because it was so disturbing. And of course, all of them. She doesn't have any credibility. All this shit started. Of course, it was the haters. And now it just messed my channel up, because I used to have people that actually came into my lives and enjoyed it. But after that happened, it started going down, right? And then, and then
we'll get back up.
Then after I did my live about Sebastian, where I just said what I really think, because I don't want to play games with anybody. I don't want to blame people for something they did not. I don't want to be in all of that. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to do it. And then after I did that, of course, I lost about 120 subscribers the next day, because they didn't like that I didn't agree with them. So, it's just been a lot. And that's why I want to do something special. Yeah, I want to do something special for everybody who does support me and how much I appreciate them. So we're going to call it a day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We're going to do, let's do some more Gabby Petito tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we'll do our aliens. How's that sound, Sprinkle? Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds great.
I do work tomorrow, though. My days off this week are split up.
Okay.
So I have today off, and I'm not going to be off again until Friday.
Okay.
So I do work tomorrow. So then I'm off on Friday.
We can do it late in the evening. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what time to get off. You know what time to get off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, babe.
Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for coming in. Be careful out there. Be safe out there. And take us out, Sprinkle.
And hug your babies.
Yes, that's right. Because you know what? Life is short, and it's even shorter with your babies. And I know that. It was hard for me to become this empty nester. Hard. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Cinderella. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Elizabeth, thank you. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.